It is important that you all are aware and you are all at the same level of information with regard to this particular project. So that is the endeavor, and we will tell you what we have done so far and what we intend to do. So before that, I'll introduce the members of the association as well as other members, including promoters, because it is largely a collaborative plan that we are looking at. We do not believe in confrontation. We believe that together we can achieve much more than fighting with each other and ultimately reaching nowhere, which is what you have seen in the last 10 years or so. So, starting with the President, Lieutenant General Manoj Magur. Then next you have Mr. Sanjeev Mehra, he is the Treasurer. Mr. C.K. Jain is the Vice President of the Association. He is not here. He has had to go somewhere, so he is not here. Then we have Mr. Vikas Sethi. He is the President of the FOSACA. Myself, the Secretary here. Then you have Mrs. Dilraj Bedi, who is part of the governing body. And then we have promoter Mr. Sunil Gandhi, who is this side. And we also have, since Major Huda has had his medical treatment, and therefore there is a rep from Spire Intech. So Mr. Vikram is here representing Spire. So both the promoters are represented, either in person or through anyone from CELSI, because we had sent the invitation to CELSI also. We don't see CELSI members here. Anyone here from CELSI? Anyone from CELSI? So now, see, this is an important point which I want to bring out. Am I clear? I hope my sound is not echoing there.
Yeah.
Okay. So see, CELSI claims that they are a representative body, they are the only official body, which is right. But then this is the sense of responsibility. We have made multiple offers, multiple initiatives to bring them on a platform. It is a collaborative action, but they don't. Yesterday, they shot a letter with 10 questions. Half of those questions have already been answered by the promoters through their official mail. They don't read those things and they bring out new issues every time, and they are trying to derail the whole effort. So my pitch will be against CELSI. This has to actually be resolved. So all this started around 8-9 months back with your cooperation, and it started with a WhatsApp group, and today we have had around 11 rounds of meeting, out of which 3 meetings have been major ones, 2 have been major ones, and this is the 3rd meeting. In the first meeting at Essex Farm, many of you have been here, there were around 101 people. I think today we are around 180 or 170 or so. The advantage of seeing this as an association is that prior to this, we had been looking at this project in our individual silos of 500 feet or 1000 feet. But now we see it as a problem of 10 lakh square feet. It is a big problem, it is a big incentive, and the association sees it as one collective whole of 10 lakh square feet, including all the stakeholders, not just PCD, which CELSI represents. So while it encourages us that we are all together, we are all getting together, it is also a big sense of responsibility. And I want to say this because we do not want to fail. We really want that all this hope that has been there for the last 10 or 11 years, that should come to a fruitful end. And I assure you that in the next 1 year, we hope to see it through. So, I was wondering how to start this whole thing. And yesterday when CELSI sent their mail, I don't know how many of you have seen that mail. There are 12 questions out there. And I had thought initially we will not talk about CELSI. The intention was not to talk about CELSI, and that is what the governing body had decided. We had decided that we will move forward with whatever we plan to do. But then now CELSI becomes a part of that moving forward. And that is why we have to bring CELSI in the picture. So where does CELSI draw its strength from? To go against us, to go against our initiatives. It largely draws its strength from the customers, from us only. So we have to tell them to come and join us, collaborate, discuss, talk, participate. There is no harm in asking questions. But if the questions are with an intent to derail an effort, if you are not coming here and not asking questions from here, who stops you from coming here and asking the questions? From the safety of email, they shoot questions. From the safety of WhatsApp, they shoot questions. They should come and face the customers as we are facing, as the promoters are facing. Is it not so obvious? Ultimately, so there are two groups now. One group is CELSI. CELSI as such is an organization, the current board of directors. When I say CELSI, I mean the current board of directors. And the second is the association which has recently been formed. Both have two different roadmaps. The CELSI roadmap is of litigation, no negotiation, no discussion. And our roadmap is a little more practical, getting all together, including CELSI, talking, meeting, and ultimately taking it forward. Because in the process that CELSI is following, what they are trying to fight for, or what they say that they have been fighting for, we have lost many times more, which I will show you mathematically subsequently. Now I'll just go about the preview. This was a brief background that I wanted to give to everyone. So this will be in two parts. So one will be the pre-lunch part, and the second will be the post-lunch part. In the pre-lunch part, we will talk about the history and background. I'll give you what exactly has happened, what went wrong, so that all are at the same level of information. Because to a large extent, it's also an information warfare. Then the president will give the future roadmap. We will also answer the questions that CELSI has posed. The 10 questions we will answer, and everything is on camera here. So there is nothing hidden, nothing not transparent, and we will answer all those 10 questions. Out of those, some questions are for us, and some questions are for the promoters. The promoters part, the promoters will answer. This will be followed by lunch. After the question and answers, we go for a lunch, and then the promoters leave, and we have our own customers and association meeting. So that is the broad format. Certain rules, I know all are very mature and civilized people, but there are apprehensions. There have been instances when rowdy occurrences have taken place. So we will have certain rules to follow. The first is that we intend to move forward with a positive spirit, and we want to see it through. The second is that nobody will interrupt the person who is speaking. If somebody has the mic, let him complete the thing. If at all there is a need for moderation, I will do that. Everyone, as I said, has been requested to adhere to the format. And no unpleasant, no impolite language, and no aggressiveness. तो ये इतनी सी बात के साथ हम आगे बढ़ेंगे. So now I'll move towards the history and background. अभी जब हम फॉर्म भर रहे थे, जब एसोसिएशन की मेंबरशिप हो रही थी और लोग फॉर्म भर रहे थे, तो उसमें काफी मिस्टेक्स आए थे. और उन मिस्टेक्स में कई लोगों को ई टावर, बी टावर, सी टावर के बारे में कंफ्यूजन था. देखिए, पहले जो ये पूरा स्पायर था वो ए बी सी डी ई एफ 6 टावर का कॉन्सेप्ट था. एफ टावर फिर नहीं आया, यू कैन डिस्काउंट दैट. ए टावर जो है वो हाफ कंप्लीट है, उसमें जो लोग थे उनको शिफ्ट कर दिया गया into BCD tower. So largely we are concerned with BCD tower and E tower. जो BCD tower है उनका नाम अब हो गया है E1, E2, E3. So लोग E tower और E1, E2, E3 को मिक्स करते हैं. So E tower is the furnished apartments and B, C, D are the unlockable space, office space, the lockable space, lockable office space, and also some shops. Similarly, for the E towers, you have the furnished apartments and shops. I hope इतना clear है. तो ये आप देखिए, ये पिक्चर देखिए. मैं अभी गया था साइट पे भी अभी कुछ दिन पहले. जो पूरी लड़ाई शुरू हुई है वो यहाँ से शुरू हुई है. ये बिल्डिंग, कंटेंशन ये था कि ये बिल्डिंग कंप्लीट नहीं है. लोगों का कहना था कि 95% कंप्लीट था, 97 था या 94 था, व्हाटएवर इट वाज, बट बिल्डिंग लार्जली कंप्लीट थी. उस 5% की लड़ाई में हम 30% पीछे चले गए. दैट इज व्हाट वी वांट टू स्टॉप. क्योंकि वो 30% अगर हम अभी नहीं रोकेंगे तो वो 30% 50% चला जाएगा, 60% चला जाएगा. ये प्रोजेक्ट खत्म हो सकता है. मोहाली का जो प्रोजेक्ट है वो ले लिया मोहाली वालों ने, जो वर्ल्ड ट्रेड सेंटर था मोहाली वाला, वो खत्म हो गया. एंड द आइडिया इज टू सेव दिस. कोई बता रहे थे यहाँ पे, somebody was telling me कि इसको लेंगे हम, बिल्कुल इसका गार्डन बनाएंगे, ब्यूटीफुल करेंगे, सुंदर करेंगे. तो वो एक शेर है मैं कि घर को सजाने का तस्वुर तो बहुत बाद का है, पहले ये तो तय हो कि घर को बचाएंगे. तो ये गेम अभी बचाने का. ये बेसमेंट है, जो फंक्शनल इसके एस्पेक्ट्स हैं, ये उस समय के हैं. ये अभी करंट कंडीशन है. आप नीचे का जो देखेंगे, ये जो बेसमेंट का एरिया है, ये आई हैव बीन देयर, दिस इज लार्जली इंटैक्ट, बिल्कुल फर्स्ट क्लास है. ये जो फसाड है, इसमें शीशे विशे फूटे हुए हैं, इस पर भी मत जाइए. दिस इज ऑल कॉस्मेटिक, दिस डज नॉट कॉस्ट मच. व्हाट इज हार्मिंग अस इज द कैंसर इनसाइड, एंड दैट इज इन टू पार्ट्स. वन इज द रेनोवेशन कॉस्ट, बिकॉज जो इसके कॉमन एरियाज के चिलिंग प्लांट्स हैं, सीवरेज है, जेनेरेटर सेट्स हैं, वो सब डिटोरेशन हो रहा है. तो दैट विल कॉस्ट सम मनी. एंड जो सेकेंड पार्ट है वो ये है HSIDC का. देयर इज नो अदर लायबिलिटी. वी हैड होप दैट सेल्सी के साथ मिलकर हम HSIDC अथॉरिटीज के पास जाएंगे और उसको कम कराएंगे. वो नहीं आ रहे हैं, बट हम लोग कर रहे हैं. वी आर डूइंग दैट. अल्टीमेटली HSIDC के भी चार्जेस गलत हैं. दे आर नॉट लॉजिकल बिकॉज दे आर बेस्ड ऑन अ फिगर विच वॉज posted to us when the project was in liquidation. So there cannot be any interest or liability on a demand which has been firstly not served to you and which has been served to the owner, and secondly which has been served during a period when it has been under liquidation. So this will ultimately come, and this is what I feel Chelsea should have done long back. तो इसकी हिस्ट्री ये है कि जो BCD टावर्स आपको मैंने पिक्चर दिखाया, उसमें 95% कंप्लीट था. उस पर कंप्लेंट हुआ एश्योर्ड रिटर्न को लेके, और 95% कंप्लेंट था कि 95% कंप्लीट नहीं है. प्रोमोटर्स का कहना है कि कंप्लीट था. अब ये जो बात है, ये ऑलरेडी सब जुडिस है. हम इसको कोर्ट में ही छोड़कर आगे बढ़ सकते हैं, ये संभावना है, और हम उसी पे चल रहे हैं. तो अमनप्रीत are you here? Yeah. So Amanpreet was the first person who took this matter to the court. Rightly so, at that point in time this was required and he went to the court. उसके बाद काफी सारे एप्लीकेशंस अमनप्रीत ओबराय के मैटर में लगे हैं and various parties have joined in. Ultimately we want that all of us should get together, find a solution in which लोगों को contribute बिल्कुल मिनिमम करना पड़े. बिल्कुल मिनिमम से मेरा एक्चुअली मतलब है बिल्कुल मिनिमम, एंड वो सब लोग हम कोलैबोरेट करके इसको आगे ले जाएं. तो ये जब तो when Amanpreet went to court and when this matter was at that point in time, in so far as BCD towers are concerned, क्योंकि वही complete थे as per promoters और वही partly complete थे as per the complainants, उसमें 1041 customers थे जो BCD towers के unlockable space की बात कर रहा हूँ. तो उसमें से 1039 को पोजीशन दे दिया गया था, और वो पेपर पोजीशन था. और दिस इज द नॉर्म. कई लोग पूछते हैं कि हमको तो पेपर पोजीशन मिला था. अनलॉकेबल स्पेस में देयर इज नो डिमार्केटेड स्पेस, तो पेपर पोजीशन ही मिलता है. उसमें से 732 का रजिस्ट्रेशन हुआ. अब अगेन वी गो बैक टू द डिस्प्यूट कि लोगों का कहना है कि हमको कंप्लीट नहीं मिला, हमको एश्योर्ड रिटर्न नहीं मिला. That is already in court and we are going to fight that. We will continue to fight that. There is no compromise on that and we have agreed to disagree on that part. So 2014 से ये जो प्रोजेक्ट है ओएल के पास पड़ा हुआ है, रॉट कर रहा है, इट इज रॉटिंग एवरी डे, गेनिंग लायबिलिटी ऑन इटसेल्फ. Then somewhere around 2016 सेल्सी ने कोर्ट में एक एप्लीकेशन लगाया. वो एप्लीकेशन था कि हमको एक्सेस करने दीजिए डॉक्यूमेंट्स को और हमको मेंटेन करने दीजिए, विच वाज अ गुड एक्शन. और मैं ये नहीं समझ पाता हूं कि जो स्टैंड सेल्सी ने उस समय लिया था, जो कोर्ट में फाइल्ड है, उससे अपोजिट स्टैंड अब कैसे ले सकती है. हाउ आर दे लीगली equipped to do that? Because I'll just read the content. पहला उन्होंने कहा है कि applicant is the single rep body of registered investors. The towers E1, E2, E3 were completed, and the competent authority HSIDC issued OC number so and so in respect of E1, E2, E3. So OC is issued, is their claim, सेल्सी का claim. बोर्ड में मैंने लिखा है, in other words, the said towers E1, E2, E3 are the only functional and commercially viable buildings in the said WTC project. We continue to challenge that. We still remain in court saying or claiming what we are claiming. But this is the position of CELC at one point in time. And what was their prayer? Issue directions to the PL, that is the provisional liquidator, to deseal E1, E2, E3 towers to enable applicant to access, operate and cause to function critical maintenance equipment. They made this application. They wanted to get access to it and maintain the equipment, especially the common area. This was their stand. And second was issue directions to the OL or provisional liquidator to deseal ground floor, common area and floors. And lastly, issue again directions to the provisional liquidator to hand over the control in possession of tower E1, E2, E3 of WTC Manesar to applicant with liberty to manage and sublease the total area. So this was their stand in 2016. So this is not relevant. Now we come to the order in this matter. So the order was given on 30 May 2016 and the order was allow access to records and documents without removal. And the second was, which is more important and relevant to us, allow applicant to carry out appropriate maintenance of the common areas, electrical backup, etc. So this was allowed to CELC. Why did they not take care of it? Why did they fail here? इसके बाद एक और एप्लीकेशन लिखी सेम अमनप्रीत मैटर में एंड वो था 450 ऑफ 2018. इसमें जो है ऑर्डर मिला था अल्टीमेटली कि इनको पोजीशन दे दिया जाए विदाउट एनी प्रेजुडिस टू देयर क्लेम्स. ये बहुत ही बढ़िया ऑर्डर था एंड इट कुड हैव बीन मेड यूज ऑफ एट दिस पॉइंट इन टाइम which was on 31 October 2019 when this good order came. Our HSIDC liabilities would have been around 20 to 25 crores that point in time. जिसमें से कि 16.5 तो ओरिजिनल डिमांड है, लैंड एनहांसमेंट कॉस्ट का, वो ओरिजिनल डिमांड है. एंड उस समय लाइबिलिटी जो रेनोवेशन की थी एज पर सेल्सीज असेसमेंट व्हिच आई शेयर विद यू, वो थी 5 करोड़ रुपए, 5 करोड़, which was in the year 2019 and 2019. So the order says, in my opinion, as the possession is said to have been handed over prior to the appointment of the OL as the PL on 8 March 2016, the allottees would be entitled to take actual vacant physical possession of the flats on as is where is basis, and more importantly, without prejudice to their rights and contentions. So it was such a beautiful order. Why was it not made use of? So much so that the liabilities of HSIDC from that point, which was around 20 CR, have gone up today to roughly 60 CR. And we are now working and struggling to reduce that, to cut that, but that could have been avoided. Not only that, the flats or the spaces could have gone on rent, and we would have also gained a lot of rental. So there is a triple whammy in this whole game. Firstly, we are losing out on rental. Secondly, we are losing out on the HSIDC liabilities. And thirdly, the property is deteriorating. I don't know how wise it is to keep fighting the case without taking property. One can fight, take the property in hand and fight. So this is the revival scheme by Vaseka. So in this, if you see, this is the appointment of valuer. The valuers were Accurate Surveyors Private Limited. There was a revival scheme filed by Vaseka also. So in competition with the revival scheme of the promoters, which was ultimately approved, there was a revival scheme filed by Vaseka. In that, if you see para 2 in the second page, you will see the amount earmarked for BCD, 5 CR. It is from this figure that the promoters picked up 5 CR in their scheme and added 2.88 more for certain other things and placed 7.88 CR in their revival scheme. But then when this happened, something else happened. So now the revival scheme was passed. Vaseka revival scheme was rejected. Promoter scheme was approved. And before it was approved, there were 4 meetings with the official liquidator under the order of the court. And in those 4 meetings, all were represented. Everyone. And finally, a scheme which was agreed to by all was presented to the court, presented to the customers for voting, in which many of you would have come. And that scheme was voted. So once it was voted, the court approved the scheme. Scheme जब approve हो गया, तो उसके बाद implementation की बात आई, and उस समय COVID hit, somewhere around 2020. तो ये जब COVID का situation आया, तो चीजें नहीं मूव कर रही थी. सेल्सी ने एक लेटर लिखा CAC और उन्होंने कहा कि जो प्रोमोटर्स का स्कीम है, जो रिवाइवल स्कीम है, जो हाई कोर्ट ने अप्रूव किया है, उसके तहत इनके कुछ लायबिलिटीज हैं जो कि इनको पूरा करना है. ये आपके लिए पढ़ना जरूरी है, बिकॉज आई रियली वांट टू टेल यू हाउ सेल्सी, व्हेन आई से सेल्सी, द बोर्ड ऑफ डायरेक्टर्स इज नॉट कंसिस्टेंट इन इट्स पोजीशन. उन्होंने कहा, in these circumstances, we as Celsi urge you to kindly ensure that, and this has been filed in court by the CAC in his quarterly report that we urge you to kindly ensure that an escrow account is opened at the earliest. So that was opened. The promoters together deposit an amount of rupees 24 crores in the said escrow account forthwith. That was done. Promoters sign and execute the joint development agreement with the new developer immediately. This is with regard to Spire Woods, not with H. Because JDA is for Spire Woods. I am a customer at both places. तो मेरा तो दोनों ही जगह वो affected है. So this was with regard to the JDA for Spire Woods. And the fourth point is also with regard to Spire Woods. Promoters together ensure that the new developer, which is Alpha Core in Spire Woods, deposit his share of rupees 20 crores in the escrow account immediately upon signing the joint development agreement, failing which the promoter shall deposit the said rupees 20 crores in addition to the rupees 24 crores in one account. So we are concerned with 24 crores insofar as Edge project is concerned. Now the fourth para is very important. Ensure that since the promoters on their own admit in block that possession must be taken by Cell C, your good self ensures that the same is done immediately and Cell C is given possession of the entire blocks BCD as stated in para 16 above. So this is their stand कि 24 करोड़ जमा करो और हमको पोजीशन दे रहा. This is now 2021, I think early 2021 or something. इस समय की ये बात है। 24 करोड़ जमा जब हो गए हैं, at that point in time CELC again went to court saying कि नहीं, ये जो 24 करोड़ है जिसमें कि 7.88 करोड़ हमारे लिए है, वो हमारे लिए सफिशिएंट नहीं है। 7.88 की जगह 20 करोड़ जमा। गोल पोस्ट अगेन चेंज। Now, before I show you this, so there was a meeting, there was an AGM by CELC, which we all attended, and I really want to bring it out to you with, right earnestness. I also attended that. I am not a registered owner, and that meeting is only for registered owners, because CELC की जो membership है, वो केवल registered owners की है. But as a proxy voter of someone, I went there. Idea ये था कि वहाँ पे interaction होगा, कुछ सवाल उनको पूछूंगा मैं, कुछ वो पूछेंगे हमको, मतलब मैं से मेरा मतलब है, when I say मैं, I'm wrong, I mean all of us जो भी हैं. So there will be interactions and CELC कुछ चीज का जवाब देंगे और कुछ का जवाब हम देंगे और एक रास्ता निकलेगा. तो उन्होंने 2 यार्डस्टिक रखे. उन्होंने कहा कि अनरजिस्टर्ड के लिए यहाँ पर कोई जगह नहीं है, आप माइक नहीं ले सकते. लेकिन उसको प्रिजाइड करने के लिए उन्होंने रेणुका जी को माइक दिया, प्रिजाइड करने के लिए. मार्क द वर्ड, रेणुका जी एज एन अनरजिस्टर्ड कस्टमर प्रिजाइडेड ओवर. माय पॉइंट वाज व्हाई 2 स्टैंडर्ड्स. दैट वाज माय पॉइंट. Nonetheless, I went, took the mic, I tried to speak for 5 to 10 minutes. I had certain questions, but I was not allowed to speak with full flow. तो वो बात रहेगी. तो मेरा पहला पॉइंट है कि ये जो डबल स्टैंडर्ड है, जो हमको रिप्रेजेंट कर रहे हैं, जो कहते हैं कि वो हमको रिप्रेजेंट कर रहे हैं, जो कहते हैं कि वो एक रिस्पॉन्सिबल पोजीशन लेकर बैठे हैं, राइटली सो, दैट इज द ओनली ऑफिशियल बॉडी, वो हमारे साथ डबल स्टैंडर्ड कैसे कर सकते हैं, हमारे साथ धोखा कैसे कर सकते हैं, उनका कैरेक्टर कैसे गलत हो सकता है, अगर ऐसा होगा तो हम उनको ट्रस्ट कैसे कर सकते हैं. अब आपको एक नमूना देता हूं. वो जो वोटिंग हुई है, एवरी एजीएम हैज अ वोटिंग प्रोसीजर. Procedures are to be adhered. You cannot have unverified proxies taken in a bunch and pushed into the ballot box. And when very, very senior officers protested out there, look what happened. This is Renuka Kulkarni ji. She had the ballots in her hand. So, इतना ही कैप्चर हुआ था, इतना फोटो. Luckily somebody captured it, and this I want to share. How can we trust? There is a procedure for election. और वो किसके साथ? Who are they trying to fool or cheat? They represent us. How can they fool us? How can they not follow the procedure with us? So this I really wanted to bring, and I am very happy. Many would have seen, I have shared it on WhatsApp, but thankfully many are here. They have been able to see. But there are other inconsistencies also. So now when ये जो प्रोजेक्ट में जब डिस्प्यूट हुआ, तो 2 प्रमोटर्स के अलावा एक डेवलपर थे, प्रमोटर्स थे लैंड ओनर्स, और डेवलपर थे मिस्टर आशीष भल्ला, जिन्होंने बाकी भी वर्ल्ड ट्रेड सेंटर स्टार्ट किया. उसमें से एक मैंने आपको बताया, मोहाली वाला, जो कि रीअप्रोप्रिएट हो गया है बाय द अथॉरिटीज. तो हमारे डिस्प्यूट अगर प्रमोटर्स के साथ हैं, तो इनके साथ जो भी है सबके साथ है. ये तो नहीं हो सकता ना कि एक प्रमोटर के साथ है और दूसरे के साथ नहीं है. इन दैट पोजीशन वेयर CELC सेज कि इनको जो है बहुत ही ट्रांसपेरेंट डीलिंग चाहिए, उसमें ये लेटर ऑफ सपोर्ट देते हैं फॉर मिस्टर आशीष भल्ला. व्हाई आर दे पिकिंग वन ओवर अनदर? अगर डिस्प्यूट है तो सबके लिए है. सो दिस इज द सेकंड थिंग दैट आई वांट टू ब्रिंग आउट, एंड आई वुड लाइक टू रीड इट फॉर यू. So, she's talking about the FIRs that are filed, and now after that she says, pursuant to the registration of the above mentioned FIRs, we have come to know that Mr. Ashish Bhalla is being falsely implicated as an accused in the above said FIR, and these are related to our case. Despite not being named in FIR so and wrongly arrayed in FIR so, despite not being named by the lead complainants, Mrs. Renuka Kulkarni. It is amply clear to all of us that Ashish Bhalla is himself a bona fide creditor and a whistleblower who is being targeted as a scapegoat to shift the focus from the real culprits who were actively involved in the management of MS So-and-so-Buildwell, that is Major Mr. Surendra Kumar Huda and Mr. Sunil Gandhi. We have no faith in the biased investigation being conducted by the Economic Offence Wing Delhi, that is deliberately shielding the promoters and obfuscating the money trail, and have thereby filed a writ petition for transfer of case from EOW Delhi to a superior agency like the CBI. So in this battle of around 10 years, what have we suffered? What is our loss? I just did some calculation. I may be wrong by around 10%, but largely that is how it stands. In 2021, once the money was deposited, the HSIDC liabilities were around 30 CR. That was the time they should have gone to the HSIDC authority and told them to reduce the liabilities, because the demands and the interest that were being levied were for the liquidation period, and that is not right. And in any case, we will get it. We have ultimately gone to court. We have said so. But we expected CELSI to do that. So if you see, the HSIDC liability somewhere, it moved from 16 CR. I hope everyone is aware what is the background of HSIDC liability. Okay. So sir will cover what is the background of HSIDC liability. From 16 crore, it came to 20 crore to 30 crore, today it is 60 crore. 60 crore. The renovation cost, as per Mrs. Renuka and Fosseca, it was 5 crore. It went to 8 crore. We again brought it to 10 crore. Means that is how we are trying to negotiate it. The 24 crore in FD would have also depreciated at least by 2 crores. Now rent. So roughly if we take the sold area, it was around 6.5 lakh square feet. उसमें अगर 10 का रखते हैं, because easy है calculation, थोड़ा बहुत ऊपर नीचे हो सकता है, 10 रुपया पर स्क्वायर फीट का हम रखते हैं पर मंथ, तो लगभग अभी तक के पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से 32.5 करोड़ आता है. हो सकता है 25 करोड़ हो सकता है 20 करोड़ हो, लेकिन मैं रफली एक फिगर दे रहा हूँ. हम मान के चलते हैं 30 करोड़, और जो 5 करोड़ 32 करोड़ प्लस 5 ही का हम लायबिलिटी अगर पकड़ते हैं, डेप्रिसिएशन नहीं भी काउंट करते हैं, और प्लस जो 30 HSIDC की लायबिलिटी बढ़ गई फ्रॉम 30 to 60, तो 67 करोड़ तो हमने ले लिया अपने ऊपर लायबिलिटी इन दिस फाइट. और लड़ाई कितने की है? 7.88 करोड़ प्रोमोटर्स ने दिया हुआ था इसमें, और रेणुका जी का डिमांड 20 करोड़ का, एंड दैट इज आर्बिट्ररी बिकॉज देयर इज नो जस्टिफिकेशन, देयर इज नो सर्वे रिपोर्ट लाइक द 5 करोड़ रिपोर्ट. तो अगर हम उनकी बात को मान भी लेते हैं कि 12 करोड़ की और लड़ाई थी, तो अभी तो 67 करोड़ में पहुंच गया, 5 गुने में पहुंच गया. सो व्हाट इज द विजडम इन दिस? So the roadmap has been litigation. There has been no constructive step, no evaluation of other options. On the contrary, they have been trying to block us in our actions and in our spirit. The roadmap of the association now is, let's reduce the friction. In moving forward, we must all collaborate. Our disputes with the promoters remain alive. In any case, we cannot decide that. That has to be decided by the court. So let the court decide that. We will continue with our fights with them, but we will not let the project rot. We will move forward with the project. We will renovate. We will stop the losses. We will stop the interest and liabilities, and we will move forward. It's a very, very beautiful structure. It's a national asset also. 10 lakh square feet going waste. What is the point? And because of BCD, E-Tower is also held. Because if BCD is not done, E-Tower cannot be built. And that General Mago will explain to you. What is the loop there? So, So we need a course correction. We need to be inclusive and we all need to interact. We still invite self-see. हम फिर भी कह रहे हैं, अभी भी कह रहे हैं, आगे भी कहते रहे. At all stages, अगर आप लोग convince कर सकते हैं, if anyone of you is close to them, tell them to come to us and talk to us. If they are right, let their way prevail. But बात तो करें, बिना बात के कैसे बात करेंगे? So ये सब मैंने already answer, I mean अपने क्रम में बता रखा है कि जो हमारे इलेक्टेड मेंबर्स हैं सेल्फसी के, उनको क्या हमको चीट करना चाहिए? इज इट राइट? सेकेंडली, व्हाट इज दिस हंगर टू बी इन पावर? जब से वो बैठे हैं बोर्ड ऑफ डायरेक्टर्स में, आज तक कोई चेंज नहीं हुआ है. कितने लोग गए होंगे वोट में? और जब हम गए भी तो वो आपने देख ही लिया वोटिंग का क्या नतीजा था. एंड व्हाई डू दे प्ले फेवरेट्स? अगर प्रोमोटर्स एक तरफ वो कहते हैं गलत है, तो हाउ इज मिस्टर आशीष भल्ला राइट? If they can collaborate with Mr. Ashish Bhalla, then they can collaborate with the promoters also. एक ही आर्टिस्ट रखेंगे आप दोनों के लिए. सेम एक्टिविटी के लिए डिफरेंट डिमांड्स. जब उनका स्कीम आया तो 5 करोड़, जब प्रोमोटर्स का स्कीम आया तो 20 करोड़. Should they not attend meeting? Why are they not here? They represent all of us. यहाँ पे उसको मालूम है कि 200 कस्टमर्स आ रहे हैं. ये क्या सेंस ऑफ रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी है कि वो यहाँ नहीं आए? हमारे जितने मेल्स हैं, किसी भी मेल का उन्होंने रिप्लाई नहीं किया, नॉट इवन वन. जब भी मेल दिया उन्होंने अपना दिया है और हमको डाउन करने के लिए. उनके लीगल एक्सपेंसेस कहां से कवर करेंगे? हु इज बेयरिंग देयर लीगल एक्सपेंसेस? HSIDC ड्यूज के बारे में वो कहते हैं कि HSIDC ड्यूज जो है वो प्रोमोटर्स देंगे, जबकि उनके अपने लॉयर मिस्टर प्रशांत भूषण ने कोर्ट में एक्सेप्ट किया है. नाउ इट इज पार्ट ऑफ ऑर्डर, इट इज बाइंडिंग ऑन एवरीवन दैट द HSIDC ड्यूज विल बी अल्टीमेटली पेड बाय द स्पेस होल्डर्स. जो स्पेस प्रोमोटर्स होल्ड कर रहे हैं वो प्रोमोटर्स पे करेंगे, जो स्पेस हम होल्ड कर रहे हैं वो हम पे करेंगे. जो पैसा हमने प्रोमोटर्स को पहले दे दिया वो पैसा वो प्रोमोटर्स अगेन देंगे. उसके ऊपर इंटरेस्ट भी है तो प्रोमोटर्स देंगे अगर उन्होंने पहले नहीं जमा किया. तो इसका सॉल्यूशन है कि हम HSIDC से मिलकर उसको रिड्यूस करवाएं रादर देन एक झूठी बात को फैलाते रहे. So now what we have done, I'm sorry I took a lot of time in telling you about CELC. I hope it doesn't appear, very belligerent or acrimonious, but it was important to let you all know on this thing. WhatsApp पे कई लोग पढ़ते हैं, कई लोग नहीं पढ़ते हैं. आज ये बताना जरूरी था और मुझे बड़ी सेटिस्फैक्शन है कि आप लोगों को सारी बात मैंने बताई. अब जब आप लोग कुछ भी सुनेंगे, चाहे हमारी बात चाहे उनकी बात, तो आपके पास एक इन्फॉर्मेशन रहेगा. उस इन्फॉर्मेशन पे with your wisdom, with your intelligence, you will be able to understand the right thing. So ये जो पूरी हमारी स्टोरी शुरू हुई थी लगभग 3 साल पहले. मैं मिला था मिस्टर गांधी से और मेजर हुडा से. उसके बाद बात खत्म हो गई थी. फिर दोबारा जब मुलाकात हुई तो आप लोगों के सबके मन में जितने क्वेश्चंस हैं वो सारे क्वेश्चंस, लगभग 5 क्वेश्चन सेकेंड ट्रांच में और 17 पहले वाले में, 22 क्वेश्चंस कवरिंग ऑल एस्पेक्ट्स. जितने भी डाउट्स हैं वो प्रोमोटर्स को पूछा गया था और उनको रिक्वेस्ट किया गया था कि वो अपने ऑफिशियल हैंडल से उसको जवाब दें विथ अ कॉपी टू द CAC. और वो उन्होंने जवाब दे दिया. और अभी जो इनके क्वेश्चंस आए हैं CELC के, उसके आधे जवाब ऑलरेडी इन्होंने उसी में दे रखे हैं. वो मैं उस पर आऊंगा. आई विल आंसर दोस क्वेश्चंस. जो उनके क्वेश्चंस हैं दे नीड टू बी आंसर्ड बिकॉज दे आर वाचिंग इट. दिस होल थिंग इज गोइंग लाइव आल्सो. हमने इसको शेयर कर लिया है. सो आई एम श्योर कि CELC वाले भी देख रहे होंगे इस चीज को. तो क्वेश्चन एंड आंसर्स जो है उसमें लगभग सारी बातें आ गई थी. फिर व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप तो उसके बाद बना. फिर सारे स्टेक होल्डर्स की मीटिंग्स हुई हैं कई सारी. सबसे पहली मीटिंग यहीं पे हुई थी प्रोमोटर्स के साथ. प्रोमोटर्स ने भी सारे क्वेश्चंस के आंसर्स दिए थे और जो यूट्यूब पे अपलोड भी हुआ था, विच इज देयर ऑन यूट्यूब. और उसके बाद से एक और बड़ी मीटिंग हुई सुंदरनगर में और उसके बाद ये थर्ड मीटिंग है जब आप लोग सारे लोग आए हुए हैं. सो देयर हैव बीन 3 मेजर मीटिंग्स. एंड उस बीच में जब पहली मीटिंग हुई थी तो एक कोर कमेटी बनी थी और कोर कमेटी की मीटिंग प्रोमोटर्स के साथ और CA के साथ, CAC के साथ लगभग 8-9 मीटिंग्स हुए हैं. to iron out the differences, to see what is the roadmap, to take the matter forward. फिर लोगों ने कहा कि ये व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप का कोई मतलब नहीं है, इसका कोई हम यूनाइटेड एक्शन ले नहीं सकते, ना तो अपने को रिप्रेजेंट कर सकते हैं कोर्ट में, ना ऑफिशियल बॉडीज के साथ. तो हमने एसोसिएशन बनाया, वो करीब 1 महीना पहले या 1.5 महीना पहले हमको उसका रजिस्ट्रेशन मिला है. तो नाउ वी आर एन एसोसिएशन, एंड एज आई सेड, नाउ वी बीइंग एन एसोसिएशन, वी लुक एट दिस प्रॉब्लम on the scale of 10 lakh square feet rather than our individual scale of 5 lakh, 500 or 1000 square feet. Governing body has been made. आप लोगों को मुलाकात होगी, वाइस प्रेसिडेंट अभी है नहीं, and there are other esteemed members who are sitting here. तो उनसे भी अभी आपको इंट्रोडक्शन हो जाएगी. एक काम जो हमने स्टार्ट कर दिया है वो है रेनोवेशन का. रेनोवेशन में पहले हमको असेस करना है कि क्या कॉस्ट है उसका, क्या कॉस्ट आएगा. तो हमने प्रमोटर से रिक्वेस्ट किया था कि देखिए हमारे पास तो पैसे हैं नहीं, और जो सर्वेयर है उसकी फीस थी 4.5 लाख रुपए के करीब. तो बोथ द प्रमोटर्स एग्रीड, एंड उन्होंने 50% पैसा हमारे एसोसिएशन को दे दिया है. हमने सर्वेयर को भी बोल दिया कि वो हम पैसा दे देंगे. वी हैड गॉन टू ओएल, वी मेट द ओएल, वी सॉट द कीज फ्रॉम देम, इट इज पेंडिंग देयर. आई हैव टॉक्ड टू द सीएससी, एंड सीएससी हैज आल्सो सेड दैट ही विल डू इट. तो नेक्स्ट वीक होपफुली, और इफ नॉट नेक्स्ट वीक देन नेक्स्ट टू नेक्स्ट वीक, survey will start. So we will exactly come to know with almost 90% accuracy as to what is the cost component for making the project functional. So that is one positive step that is going to happen. HSIDC meeting is also planned in next week or next to next week. So we are going to meet them, we are going to present our case, and we are very sure कि ये कम होगा. It cannot remain 60 crore. वो unfair है, illogical है, illegal है. उतना हो ही नहीं सकता. जो प्रोजेक्ट एज आई सेड चला गया है ओएल के पास, उस पर इंटरेस्ट किस बात का, पेनल्टी किस बात का, तो वो कम. इसके अलावा हमने कोर्ट्स में भी एप्लीकेशन लगाया है, टेलिंग कि एचएसआईडीसी को डायरेक्शन दीजिए कि वो हमारे पेनल्टी और इंटरेस्ट हटाए, और रेगुलर अपडेट्स हम देते रहते हैं. रेनोवेशन आई हैव ऑलरेडी सेड. सो एचएसआईडीसी का ऑलरेडी मैंने आपको बता दिया है. I would just like to share the court order about HSIDC, because they say that HSIDC जो है वो सारा नोट यूज करके हमको देंगे, लेकिन at the same time in the court their lawyer agrees, and rightly so, that it has to be borne by those who hold the space. तो ये I would like to share with you. इससे पहले एक पॉइंट और है. प्रोमोटर्स ने 2022 में लेटर लिखा था HSIDC को, because they wanted to build E-towers, जो वो अपार्टमेंट्स हैं. तो they wrote to the HSIDC authorities कि हमको आप ये बनाने का परमिशन दीजिए. तो HSIDC ने अपना ड्यूज मांगा. Then they said कि जो E-tower है उसको आप लिएन कर लीजिए. अभी लिक्विडेशन में है प्रोजेक्ट, अभी कस्टमर से पैसा मांगना पॉसिबल नहीं है. ये लेटर मैं आपको इसलिए दिखा रहा हूँ कि anybody can take it. ये लेटर्स हैं यहाँ पे अवेलेबल, और जब प्रोजेक्ट बन जाएगा तो सब अपना अपना और हम अपना मिलाकर हम आपको एक मुश्त पैसा दे देंगे. उस पर अभी तक HSIDC ने कोई डायरेक्शन नहीं दिया है, बट दिस इज हाउ. नाउ दिस इज द ऑर्डर ऑफ द हाई कोर्ट, डबल बेंच, जिसमें कि दिस इज विनीत गोयल वर्सेस प्रोमोटर्स, एंड इसमें क्या है. So he is saying, the court is saying that Mr. Jain at this stage informs us that an application has, para 7. We may only note that in the course of today's hearing, it stands clarified that dues owed to Haryana State Industrial HSIDC have to be borne by the allottees. Now mark the word allottees, how they are trying to pitch it. Borne by the allottees in terms of the agreement executed by them with the company A.N.Buildwell Pvt.Ltd. Mr. Bhushan does not dispute this position. Mr. Bhushan is the lawyer of CELSI and Mrs. Redba Kulkarni. So when I brought this point to the CELSI people indirectly, because they don't allow me on their group, but there are members who are there on both the groups, through them I posited this question to them, that you have already accepted in court through your lawyer that the HSIDC liabilities are to be borne by the customers. So Miss Bhavna Talwar said that no, it is by the allottees, and by allottees what we mean is the promoters. So they have again turned it, but that will not stand ground, because For the allottees, Mr. Bhushan cannot speak. I mean, for them, he was not their lawyer. And secondly, the allottees, that is the promoters who are A.N.Buildwell, cannot have an agreement executed with A.N.Buildwell. I hope that part is clear. So this was all from my side. We will move to the next phase. The President will tell you what we plan to do, our roadmap plan.
Can you help me at the back, please? Namaskar, ladies and gentlemen. Jai Hind.
Use the mic. Voice is low.
Hello. Namaskar, ladies and gentlemen. Jai Hind. Firstly, I welcome you all for this very important meeting. Because this is the meeting where we will tell you what we have done so far and what we plan to do. And once you approve what we plan to do, from tomorrow onwards, we will start implementing it. Concrete steps on ground will be taken from tomorrow onwards, once you approve. I see very senior citizens here, and thank you very much for coming in this weather. In fact, your presence here gives us confidence that we all are very serious about the revival of our project. Bringing us all together here, I think the single-handedly one man has done it, that is Colonel Patna. May I request you all to please give a big hand of applause. It's not possible at all. People scattered all over for 10 years, having different ideas, different mindset, different pain, they have gone together all these years and getting them in one platform, not an easy job. I also see some of the members here with different ideas, opinions. At some point of time, they have always also been connected with the project in their own way. I don't say that this approach is good or that approach is good or that is bad. It is the time and the situation which matters. Any approach can work or fail depending upon the time and situation. But I am happy to see them here, and we all collaborate together and find a solution to our revival. Before I come to the details of the revival, I want to make two statements. First statement is that me and the governing body of the association are fully convinced that revival will be a reality. It will happen, and it will happen very soon. The second statement, actually it is not a statement, it is a pledge. And I am on camera. Me and the governing body will not take any personal favors, any monetary benefits from anyone while discharging our duties as part of the governing body. We are nobody's representatives here. We are only a representative of the customers. All our actions will be directed towards the benefit of majority of the customers. Why I say majority? Because it is not possible to satisfy 100%. So there will always be a small minority will not be here. But we will look after the interest of the majority of the customers. Now, what are the issues towards revival? Let's understand that. To my mind, there are four major issues. And balance are the minor issues which will be taken care of once these four issues are resolved. And those four issues are construction, repair, and renovation of various types. That is the first major issue. The second issue is the use of the HSIIDC, clearance, and clearances from the other departments. like electricity, sewage, water, or whatever it is there. The third major issue is the court cases, because the project is under litigation in some form or the other, and it is also a major issue to be resolved. The fourth issue is the self-see, which I will cover in detail. All these four issues I will cover in detail. What are the issues, details of these issues, and how we can resolve those issues. And then there are minor issues like registered, unregistered, how unregistered will become registered, assured returns, lease period, other than BCT as part of the self-see, they are not part of the self-see, etc., parking space, clearances, occupation certificate. All these are minor issues, they will all fall in place once these four major issues get settled. So I will focus on these four issues. Balance, if you have any other question on the minor issues, during the question answer you can ask. Coming to the construction, repair and renovation. Now before I come to that, let's have a common understanding. In the WhatsApp group I see various comments and the questions there, and I feel that we all do not have the understanding what our project is all about. As Karan Chaudhary was also mentioning, that our project consists of tower A, B, C, D. B, C, D, we will take it as one entity because they are all interconnected, and all the dynamics related to revival, B, C, D is as one entity. Then tower E and tower F. These are the 5-6 towers that our project totally Spire constitutes of. Tower A, 18,000 square feet has been sold to 34 of the customers. Anybody from tower A here? Okay, thank you. 34 customers have bought that 18,000 and balance is yet to be sold. The superstructure of A tower is complete. However, nothing has been done inside, and it will take a lot of time to construct it. And with the present situation, whether the promoters want to continue with it or not, or what they want to do, we are not sure. So I'll come to later what we plan to do with this. Then I come to tower E. Tower B, C, D I'll cover last because that is the major issue. Tower E. The 84,000 square feet has been sold. It consists of the shops on the first 2 floors and thereafter the service apartments on the balance of the floors. 23,000 of the square feet of the area has not been sold, which is still with the promoters. It is under construction, about 5 stories have been made. The balance 2 stories are yet to be constructed, and there is some work required. The construction and completion of this tower is the total responsibility of the promoters. Now coming to BCD as such. The total area is 8,76,000 square feet, out of which 8,48,000 square feet has been sold to all of us. 28,000 square feet is still balanced with the promoters. Now whether it is complete, what stage of construction, Kanapraveen mentioned, it is the interpretation of different parties to suit their own interests. The promoters say that it has been completed, we have given the possession to the self-see, and it is thereafter self-see's responsibility. The self-see has been saying on record in the courts as well as in other documents which I have gone through to CAC, the OL and others, that BCT towers are complete and please give us the possession. But on ground they do not take over the possession, and on ground they tell the customers that it is not complete and we cannot take over. That is the position I am talking about. I have gone through various documents, legal documents. In all the documents they have said that BCT tower has been completed and please hand it over to us for renovation. But on ground nothing is happening and they are telling us that BCT tower is not complete. So I leave it at that. Whether it is complete or not complete, HSITC has given the occupation certificate saying that it is complete. And we customers, we have taken over the possession and 732 of us have got the registry also done, signing it that it is complete. We all get the registry done of our flat once it is complete. right? So I'll leave it at that. There are a total of 1,041 customers in BCD tasks. Total of one more is there who has neither taken the possession nor got the registry done. Whereas 1,041, 732 have got the registry done, and 309 they have taken the possession, but registry has not been done. And it requires a repair and renovation to make it leasable. So these are the, and Tower F, which was a small amount where the meter room and the guard room was to be constructed, and that is promoter's responsibility. Whether it is constructed or not, it doesn't make much of a difference to our revival. So these are the basic facts. I thought all of us should be on one platform to understand how the revival will be done and how these towers are interlinked to each other. Now, how to revive? Firstly, who are we? The governing body, me, who are we? Why we are here? I came for the last meeting of the SS at the SS from here only in this hall. That was the first meeting I ever attended. After my retirement, I had time, so I came. Before that, I was also posted somewhere in J&K and other places. I didn't have time. I signed whatever was sent to me. So, in that, the mood was for revival. Those who came, many of you would be are here, who would have attended that meeting. I was sitting at the last seat there, and I met Colonel Chaudhary for the first time in that meeting. I met the promoters for the first time in that meeting, and many of the other customers, investors there. The mood in the meeting was for revival. Everybody said that we must revive. And they constituted the core committee to take things forward and work on it. So they gave this job to this core committee. Please work on this revival. And we all want the revival. And based on this tasking, the core committee got into the business, and in the last 9 months, we had various meetings with the promoters, with the CAC, with the OL. The meetings amongst our core committee to discuss, brainstorm what all should be done, what all cannot be done, how we should go about it. We've also tried to get a meeting with the HSIDC, but we did not pursue it very vigorously, because if we have a meeting with the HSIDC and they agree to our requests to waive off the penalties and others, but the original dues which are required to be paid to them, if we do not know how to pay them and who will pay them, then that meeting is a waste. And we will lose that opportunity of meeting and taking the favor. Next time when we go to them, they'll say, why you have come here? You don't stick to your commitments. We gave you the favor last time. Again you have come to us. So that meeting, purposely we have kept it at low key. But now that if you give us the approval, the royal plan which I mentioned, then we will go full throttle to meet them, get the waivers and everything to be done. We have also produced various documents, the court documents, the other letters, etc. And all my thoughts which I am saying are based on those documents and those meetings. Now coming to the repair and renovation of the BCD towers. Because E tower is the responsibility of promoters, A tower whether they construct or not. A tower, as per the royal plan which was submitted and approved by the court in 2020, the 18,000 square feet that has been sold, those 34 customers will be shifted to BCD tower in the area which has not been sold by the promoters in BCD towers. So they will give them that area. And out of 34, when this revival plan was submitted and there were meetings held, 8 out of 24 customers had attended that meeting. And they had approved whatever was transfer was to take place. So they had approved, yes, this is the right way to get their investments. So I leave it at that. Now, BCD towers. As I mentioned that whether it is complete or not, who will do it? Who will do the revival? Whether who is the entity who will carry out the revival? The only authorized body is the SELC. I will cover the SELC details a little later, but that is the institution which has been formed to carry out maintenance, repair, lease out and provide a rent to the customers. So I will cover Celsi a little later because that is linked to this. Now Celsi refuses to take. Unless BCD towers are taken over, they cannot be repaired. But in the documents which they, like Kanapuri mentioned, earlier the demand was 5 crore. In that they mentioned that please give the Celsi 5 crore from promoters and we will pay it. Then they raised it to 20 crore. In the court again they said, please get the 20 crore rupees from promoters, we will pay it. They wrote a letter to the CAC saying that the OL has sealed these offices and the BCD towers. The BCD towers are complete and we have taken over. Please hand it over to us. Please tell the OL to hand over to us. So ideal institution or the entity to repair this is the Celsi. I have not seen any document. If there is any document with somebody who can show me where Celsi has said that we will not take over. It is not complete. I have not found any document where on paper they have said this. In meetings and all they say us to threaten us, to put a scare in our mind. But on document I have not seen anywhere where they said the buildings are not completed, we will not take over. Now what is the cost and who will bear the cost? As I mentioned, they earlier said 5 crore in 2019. In 2020 they said it is 20 crore. 5 crore was the realistic figure because it was based on a survey which was carried out through the Celsi. They had got a survey done and that survey had given that figure and based on that they had said 5 crore. Which I feel that was realistic. But jumping to 20 crore in 1 year was unrealistic, which was not based on the facts. When they asked for 5 crore, that is the time when this revival plan was being worked out, promoters had submitted the revival plan in the court to revive the project. For BCD towers, they had mentioned that since we have handed over this BCD to Celsi, so we will not do anything in this. It is the Celsi which will look after the revival plan. But we will give 5 crore for revival and renovation from promoters. They contributed 5 crore. 1.80 crore. The Celsi had asked earlier from the promoters that when we all got the registration done, in that we had paid certain amount towards interest-free maintenance charges. That total was 1.80 crore, which was at that time it was promoters, because Celsi was also represented by the promoters only. So they said the promoters have not given this 1.80, but the customers have submitted, this money has been deposited by customers, it should be given back to us. So this 1.80, the promoters said, take this. They also said we will give you 1.08 crore to hire 3 people for 3 years who will help you out for leasing after repair and renovation. For leasing purposes, you will require some office staff. So 1.08 crore were contributed by them. So total was 7.88 crore, which the promoters had committed for BCD towers in the revival plan, which was approved by the court. It did not happen, that's a different story altogether. Now when we are looking for the solution, how do we go about it? Now this cost would have also increased. With 5 crore which was there realistic, now it would have increased. It was 2019, 5 years have passed. So we don't have any money, we are not an institution. So we are just the customers. So we had negotiations, I'll use this word negotiation with the promoters and also the meetings. And promoters agreed to contribute 2.12 crore more than this, making total 10 crore during our negotiation. So now we have 10 crore assured by the promoters for this, which have been submitted in the court also. This 10 crore now commitment has been submitted in the court also. Besides this 10 crore, square feet of the unsold area in BCD tower to self-see. It is up to the self-see what they want to do with it, whether they want to have their own office, whether they want to sell it off, and whatever proceeds are there from that 2000 square feet to be used for repair and renovation. So that is the self-see which has to decide on that 2000 square feet. Earlier the self-see offices were in an area which belonged to all of us. A part of that area of the reserved, the registered or unregistered customers, they had established a makeshift office, but they will need some office. So it is the future, whatever self-see wants to do with it. 2000 square feet area has been given by the promoters for that purpose. Promoters have also said that 25% of the profit that will accrue by selling the balance of the unsold area, we will share it with you. At the moment, those funds are not available with them. But as and when they get those funds by selling it, 25% of the profit will be shared with us. That is the understanding that we have reached with them. If there is loss that they accrue from this, we will not share any loss. So, now, Renuka Kulkarni had also submitted a roadmap. 22, which date was it? December last year. December last year they had a meeting, and in that meeting she had given a roadmap. That roadmap basically said that they will hire a builder or a contractor by competitive bidding, and they will award the contract of repair and renovation to them. Now the understanding with that contractor or the builder will be that all the unsold area, whether it is A tower or unsold area in the other towers, will be given to that contractor as the cost for repair of BCD towers or the construction of E tower, completion of E tower. And therefore, whatever cost is there to repair all these towers, there will be no extra cost to the customer, to the investor. So that everybody feels happy that there is no cost to us. This is a good roadmap that we are not paying anything. But this unsold area does not belong to self-see. It does not belong to Renuka Kulkarni. It does not belong to their mentor. We all know who is the legal occupant or legal owner of that unsold area. If you have to take that unsold area or legal possession of somebody, you have to go to the court. And they are going to go to court once again on this issue with this roadmap. And that will take another 10 years for court to decide whether this area should be given to self-see or not. Take from the promoters and give it to self-see. At least in our lifetime, we are not going to see this. I don't know how many more generations will have to go through this. This will not happen. Even if this happens, the court is not going to give this area to self-see. The court is going to liquidate all the assets of the company. They will auction all the assets. They will not give it to one individual. It is never done. All the assets of the bankrupt party are auctioned off, liquidated, and the proceeds received from that auction, and you know in the auction it goes dirt cheap. The proceeds received from that auction, the Class A, Class B creditors will be paid. Class A, Class B creditors are who are the partners of the company in various forms, who are the shareholders, etc. They will be paid their dues, whatever their dues are pending. The customers are going to be last priority. The self-see is going to be the last priority in payment of those proceeds. That is the rule, that is the legal position. So we will get again peanuts, even if it is liquidated. Right? So that is what the self-see roadmap is there. Since we are giving a roadmap, I must give you the other roadmaps also and how it is different. somebody may tell me कि there is a सोना चांदी हीरे मोती पड़े हैं वो आपको देंगे जिसकी probability 5% की है। पर कोई दूसरा मेरे को बोलेगा कि उधर 10,000 पड़े हैं उसकी probability 95% है। What should I choose? A very lucrative item which has zero probability to get, or a small amount which has high probability. So we must look at it. So therefore, we have planned to get the survey of the repair renovation done. As Karan Chaudhary mentioned, we have identified the surveyor, we got the money from the promoters, and next week onwards, I think, or maybe next week, the survey will start. And maybe in July sometime, we will get the survey report, which will give out what all equipment or the repair renovation is required, what is going to be the likely cost, and what are the timelines which will be required to repair those. Once it starts, how much time it will take to repair those. So we'll have a clear understanding of what we are in store for. And thereafter, we will work out that this is the total cost. This is the 10 crore we have got the promoters. If there is any balance amount, how do we contribute that balance amount? I don't see there will be any major contribution. The way I look at it, the damages would be there and the things. Major contributions from all of us. Why I am saying I don't see major contribution, because in the WhatsApp group and other places, the response that I see from the investors, what they are ready to contribute heavily, I think it should be within that. But it subject to what we get from the survey in another 15-20 days. We will see there what is there. There are various methods to contribute that we will discuss once the time comes. Our aim is to put minimum burden on all of us, because we are also part of that. We will not take any decision if, as a customer sitting there, I do not agree with that decision. We will not take any of that decision. If, as a customer, I am ready to pay X amount, then we will say, okay, let's say this amount to be paid, and it will be told to all of you that this is what it is, and take your okay, and then move ahead. So that is our plan for the repair and renovation. Get the survey done, then see how much money is there and how that money is to be contributed. Now I come to the HSIITC dues. The dues are of three kinds. Now firstly, why these dues are there? The promoters had paid the initial land cost to the HSIITC in 2006, and in 2008 the HSIITC had given no dues certificate to the promoters. That I have checked from the documents which is there. No dues certificate was given. Now it is the Supreme Court ruling for all the projects all over the country. If there is a land enhancement cost is to be paid to the farmers, it will be paid by the customers. It has happened, you must have bought property anywhere, we have all paid that amount. So that was, I think, 16.50 crores. We will have to take the document, I do not have the document, but whatever 16.5 figure is there, that is the initial cost which we all are supposed to pay. Some of us have paid it when we got the registry done, etc. Because registry you get it done when you clear all the dues. So I'm sure we must have cleared those dues. We will see in the documents, whoever has paid, it's okay. Who has not paid, they will pay. The second component of these dues are, whatever amount was not paid to the HSITC, they have put the interest as per their rules. And since those interest was also not paid, they have put the penalties. So total figure now it comes to about 63 crore rupees. That is the dues total मिला करके इनके HSITC. And thereafter the clearances. The roadmap for this is that we plan to meet the HSITC. soon. Find out what are the dues in different components, the original, the interest, penalties. That interest is for which period, on what amount. The penalties are for what period, what amount. That period, if it constitutes after the project has gone into litigation, then we are in our right to approach the courts and also the HSIDCs that we have it is no fault of ours. How can we pay? We got no demand because the company is under liquidation. We didn't get any demand, so we have a strong case to get some of the waivers on these. The precedents also exist where the HSIDs, even the DDA and the municipal corporations, they have waived off the property tax. Okay, last 4 years, you paid 2 years with some minor this thing, your last 5 years, everything will be waived off. So those schemes come, waiver schemes come. We will follow that and try and get maximum waivers. But whatever are the original dues that are required to be paid. Now, who will pay that? To whom it is to be paid? Who will pay to the HSIDC? Whether the customer will pay to the HSIDC? The promoters are responsible to collect these HSIDC dues from the buyers and submit it to the HSIDC and take clearance. So whenever it happens, we'll follow the same procedure, that we will all pay to the promoters and they will further deposit it there and take all the clearances. We will be there, we will spearhead the meetings, we will use our contacts and request the authorities there to give a very lenient view to our HSIDC dues. That is the plan that we want to follow for the HSIDC. Coming to the court cases, there are two types of court cases. One are the criminal type of court cases. I mean, criminal in the sense, these are the language which is used in the court. One is civil case, one is the criminal case. These are one party against the other. We as customers, we don't want to be concerned with those court cases, where everybody is fighting with each other. We want nothing to do with it. The other is the project and the company under litigation, where we are affected because our project is also under litigation in the same manner. So therefore, we should represent ourselves in the court. Now that we are a legal entity by forming this association, and thank you very much for the support that we have received from all of us, from members. Now we are a legal entity to represent in the court and submit our pleas to the court. And whatever decision that we take, we will submit it in the court that this is what the investors want. The majority of the investors are wanting this, so please listen to us, and that's how we will go for this. And also, once the revival plan is approved by all of you that we should follow this, that will be submitted in the court and got the approval from the court and for the implementation. Otherwise, till then we cannot do because the previous revival plan is still there. The SELFC has always approached the revival in the courts. That is our representative body. Now next my point is about the SELFC. I want to explain what SELFC is all about. Not that I am accusing, but the real, what is the SELFC? So they have opposed our revival there. Their only thing is that it should be liquidated and somebody should buy it at the cheap cost once it is liquidated and auctioned off, and then make profit of it. That is my understanding. Nothing on the documents. Now SELFC. What is SELFC? I see the responses of various members in the WhatsApp groups, etc. Some of us feel that it is some God-sent entity which is beyond everybody else and we cannot do anything about it, and it is a fait accompli, etc., etc. That SELFC, we must take the SELFC along, we must request the SELFC. All those things I see on the SELFC is nothing but a maintenance and lease company created for our purposes. And that SELFC board of directors are required to be elected by us. and they are supposed to perform the functions for our interests and nothing else. I have gone through the complete bylaws and the charter of the CELBC. It only says that they are required to maintain the premises, they are required to collect the maintenance fee, etc., whatever charges are required from the investors. They are required to lease out the premises on behalf of the investors, and whatever proceeds, rent is taken from the parties, distribute amongst the investors as per their holding, shareholding. That is the charter. Nowhere in the bylaws or the charter it is written that they will represent the customers legally in the courts, which they are doing. Have they conducted any AGM, EGM and taken our consent that we want to represent you legally in the courts? Please tell me if there is something. I have not seen it. If they want to represent us in the courts, they are duty bound to pass a resolution, conduct an AGM or the EGM and take the okay from the investors or the shareholders. Unilaterally they are representing us and saying that we are the only representative body on behalf of the customers in the courts. It is not their charter. Nowhere it is written. So, I mean, maybe in good faith, at that time there was nothing else. They thought that the investors' interests are compromised by this, all this fighting. So they have gone to the court. I give them that benefit of doubt. That they have gone to the courts thinking that it will be good for the customers. But over the years, as we mentioned that goalposts have been changed, interests have changed, so they are taking a different stand. So the CELBC is our representative body. We are responsible to make the CELBC board. We are authorized to ask them questions. We are authorized to move resolution if they don't behave. We are authorized to remove anybody in the CELBC board. It is as per law. We must understand the power that we have as shareholders and must not waste it by sitting and just talking on the buzzer. My request to all of you is to understand your power of shareholding in the company, that the board of directors of the company are at the pleasure of the shareholders and they are required to function. Another point is that CELBC is only for BCD towers and it is only for the registered customers. Let me clarify that. When the CELBC was constituted, the BCD towers were the only towers which were completed. But the other towers would have taken time to be completed. And once the BCD towers were completed, the CELBC was to take over and lease out the premises on behalf of the customers. That is why, as of now, it is only for BCD tower. Once E-tower is completed, E-tower will also come in the ambit of CELBC for maintenance of the common areas and other issues on lease and other issues. So they will also come in. So CELBC will bring all the other towers also in their ambit. Now the rule as per the CELBC is that only the people who are registered, they are to become shareholders. Once you get the registration, you become automatically the shareholder of the company. So once the revival happens, the balance unregistered customers also will become shareholders of the CELBC. And then you will have a larger body of shareholders. There will be no share of the promoters in the CELBC.
Either you allow me to say now or I can wait for the question answer session.
Just give me,
I want to say something about
just give me, say 5 minutes.
Okay.
5 minutes more. I'll just wind up giving the specifics of the.
No problem.
So CELBC will then become for everybody. There will be no share of the promoters. We all customers will be the shareholders, and we have the power to maintain the CELBC the way we go. Now I come to the revival plan as such. I mentioned the summary of what I am talking about now. The various steps for revival. These steps are not sequential in nature, that one after the other it will happen. Many of them will happen concurrently, simultaneously at the same time. The one is the survey of all the BCD towers. What is the repair renovation required? What is the cost, etc. And then work out the proportionate share, who will pay how much and how that will be paid. And also the timelines for repair, etc. The second step is the HSITC dues. Have the meetings with the HSITC, find out what are the dues, and find out modalities of the payments, etc. And they work out the timelines for that also. Reconstitute the SELC board of directors. Whoever you want to choose. I'm not saying you may re-elect the same members. I have no problem. But at least it should be the representatives of the people, of customers. They should be the representative. You want to put anybody, you put it. Whoever majority. But my only request is, whenever that happens, kindly be present in that AGM. It's going to be very, very important. Next AGM, EGM is going to be very, very important, because that will decide the fate of our tower investments. That is going to be very important. If by chance you cannot attend that, please give your proxy to somebody, whoever you want. Whoever you trust that he or she will vote for whatever you want, whoever you want, please give your proxy. My request is, whoever has become the member of the association, 100% voting must be done. That is the way, then things will happen. Otherwise, you will find the Redbug Kulkarni putting the false ballots, false proxies into the ballot box, and we will be back to square one and then keep fighting in the court. Nothing will happen. All our efforts of these 9-10 months and all of you coming here will go waste. So whenever that meeting happens, please attend and give your vote whichever way you want. This should happen in next 3 to 4 months. We have the procedure right. We will take, once you approve today, yes, we can go ahead with these 8-10 points which I am saying. We will start the process from today afternoon and tomorrow onwards. 3-4 months, it can be done. You will have your own board of directors in the SELC. And then based on all that data that we get on the news, etc., we will make a draft revival plan. It will basically modification of the previous one, since it is already approved by the court. We can't make another, but that will go back in with the court cases. Again, the process has to start again. So we will modify that plan and include all these aspects and take your approval in the association meeting. Once you approve that, with the nitty-gritties of the every paisa that will be accounted for, the timelines that will be mentioned, everything will be mentioned there. You approve that. It will be then approved with by the reconstituted SELC board of directors. Yes, it will be, first the association should agree, because then it is a larger body. It encompasses everybody, registered, non-registered, everybody. It will also be ratified by the SELC reconstituted board of directors. Thereafter, the plan will be submitted in the court by these 3 entities together. The SELC, the association, and the promoters. So that nobody can go back on this. It will be a joint plan, not that the promoter submit the revival plan, the SELC says, no, we don't agree with it. Like what is happening there. The association says, no, we do not agree with this. Right? So it will be a joint plan which will be submitted. Once the court approves the joint plan, revival plan, the same will be executed by the reconstituted SELC board of directors under the supervision of the court appointed commissioner, and also the association will remain associated with it till the revival is complete. And the definite timelines will be set, and monthly bulletin by the SELC board of directors and the associations will be given to all the customers for whatever means. That is the revival plan which I wanted to put across to you. You may totally reject it. It is up to you. You may have ideas, some differences somewhere where you are most welcome. We will improve that. We will incorporate wherever it is possible and improve that. If you approve it as it is, we will go ahead full throttle and execute it. Thank you very much.
Is this working? Hello, can you hear me all? Yeah. Okay, I am Pvt.Ltd, as I've been mentioned already. The thing is that we've been working very, very religiously to get where we are today. And it's not like overnight, it's been for months. Now, I met some ladies outside and they asked me these very valid questions, which I think we need to clear. Once they can ask these questions to the people sitting here, so that all those points are cleared. So that is one issue. I would request the same ladies to ask the questions here, though I could satisfy them with the answers. The second thing that I want to say is that we have heard a lot about self-see, self-see, self-see. It means not the self-see, but the board of directors of the self-see, in whom we have lost trust. Why? Because they haven't done anything for the last 10 years. For 10 years, they've been just going to court, fighting the cases against the promoters, but did they ever think that, look, I have to get the property out of the OL's possession? Did they ever think that we need to renovate the property? Did they ever think that the registered property cannot be taken over and sealed by the OL because it doesn't belong to the company, it belongs to the individuals? No, they did not think of any of us who were the members of self-see. Their agenda was totally different. I don't want to name anybody, why they did it, who is paying for their court cases, who is behind all this, but one thing I'm 100% sure, that they have a different agenda than looking after we all who are the members of the self-see. So if they are not looking after the members, then what action should we take? Then my plea would be that we should look at changing the board of directors by voting. You agree? Please put up your hands. Great. Great. So if you are all in that state of mind and heart, you have to trust someone. Now, nothing is written on our foreheads that we are absolutely worthy of trust. We can only give a word. We all have a good family background. We all are suffering the same thing. We all want to get together on one platform and start action. The first action, as the President said, was that we are going to have an assessment, a survey of what needs to be done. Now, we went to the OL and the OL said, yes, I will allow you access to the building. So we have the access. Once the access is there, we'll go and look at the possibility. The surveyor will tell us the costing. And if you are all a part of the association, we will regularly be sending you the details of where we stand. Okay? Now, why would I request you to be a part of the association? Because we all need to be on the same page. We are all suffering. One person is not different from the other person. So, my request only would be, as a senior citizen, that please come to the association where there are people who are answerable and they will be available. In the case of the board of directors of self-see, वो कभी मीटिंग में नहीं आए, उनके फेसेस भी नहीं हम जानते, उनकी एटीट्यूड भी नहीं हम जानते. Why are they scared? Why don't they come here and talk to all the people who had trusted them? After all, when they're board of directors, so we gave them the power, na? So we have the right for them to come forward. So my first request would be, please become a part of the association. Second request would be, if you have realized that the board of directors of Cell-C are not doing as per your requirement, then please take action and have a new election for the board of directors who are more proactive, who can really be answerable, who will, every person can question. So these are my only two requests. If there are any other questions like those ladies were asking, there's a very charming lawyer there.
I don't have a question, Mr.
There is a very charming lawyer there who's a Sadhani, and she was saying, "मैं बताती हूँ उसको, वो बताएंगे."
Okay, I
And-
have
okay.
a small comment to make, Mr. Bedi.
I would like to say something.
Sure, sure.
Just a
I mean,
minute.
I leave it to the coordinator, and everybody will get a chance.
So I just want to compliment Colonel Praveen. I want to compliment General Margot. I just heard them. Mrs. Bedi just heard you. And at least I can speak for myself and my entire family that we wholeheartedly support you all. The authenticity is so visible from General Margot.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
With General Margot, he's a senior officer in the military. So are you, Mrs. Bedi. And Praveen, taking that pledge itself is good enough. At least I don't have no questions.
We
just
have
support.
taken a pledge and we'll stick to it.
Thank you.
Till we, either we do or we die. Okay.
We won't die. We won't die.
Okay, that was one. I'm sorry. You would like to speak.
So, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Let me introduce myself first. I was working as a CEO with a multinational company in UK earlier, and after then, my last assignment I was in CEO as a some multinational company in Ethiopia. So, because I've gone through all the financial and legal matters, so because since I was abroad, so I couldn't get through all details. So now I started following properly both Cell-C and this group as well. So my observation I would like to share with you. You see, first of all, we need to understand one thing. There is a conflict of interest in both the parties. Okay, so we have to come to some understanding first, And for that, I have a strong feeling. Even if we come together, trust me, it's not going to help. Believe me, because litigation is such a lengthy and cumbersome process. We can't come out from this, We take some step, they will take one step. So we need some mediation. We need somebody who can bring both the parties on single platform. And unless we don't have, I'll just give an example. You see, it's called a coalition government. Ruling party has its own views. The opposition party says something different. There are ways to handle this thing. If we bring some expert who can address all these issues, he can bring parties together and make a common minimum program for both the parties. And for that, we need a person who is really expert in handling all such kind of issues, because there are legal matters. Yes.
May I interrupt you, please?
No, please. Sorry. We are just wasting each other time. Trust me. Yeah, let me complete. I'm okay. You see, again, as I mentioned, so we need a neutral person who can, who can really help bringing both the parties on a single platform. Now he raised 4 issues. I'll explain one by one. First, he said yeah.
He should be no.
No, sir, I'm coming. You see, he said HSITC. An expert can definitely help you in bringing down those dues, which has mentioned around 60 CR. So there are ways and means to handle. We can put up our request before them, and there are ways. I don't want to get into all these things at this moment, but yes, there are ways how we can bring down that figure, 60 crore figure to a respectable level. This is one thing. Second, he said legal matters. Of course, once we come to some understanding, these legal matters can be really taken care of, can be addressed. I don't see any problem, resolving those kind of issues. Third, contribution by investor. You see, we are all working for a common cause. We should stop blaming first, but each other. That's causing a big problem right now. So, as I said, the contribution, we want to resolve the issue. Our money is stuck. So we don't mind even paying little bit, you know, if we find a solution. I think everybody will agree with me. Yeah. So fourth point was liquidation. Yeah, I'm an expert of liquidation. I've done a lot of study. I've handled many cases related to where, you know, stakeholder and the promoter are at the loggerheads. And this is precisely is happening here. This is what I could understand rather. So there are ways, you know, there are some scientific or maybe any medicinal. So we can resolve this issue once we, because I didn't expect, I was under pressure, you know, they're going to present a proper roadmap in figures, you know, how they're going to address the issues. You know, talking vague is not going to help. We have to be very precise what we have to do. So for that, I'm suggesting, so I'm not saying, I'm not advocating that you hire me for all this.
But why not? You're an experienced person. Everybody in your field. Come on.
I'm ready to offer my services. I have no problem. Now I'm working as a freelancer. I'm working as a management consultant right now. So I can really help.
Without fees. We are working without fees.
Yeah, without any. Yes, of course. Yeah. Let me complete it.
Services are going to be gratis. We do not have the money to.
No, I don't want any money. Okay. Yeah. No, you see, I'm here. Yeah, I'm not here to make money, frankly speaking. As an investor, my money is also stuck. And believe me, as a unbiased and totally, you know, without any prejudice in mind, I can help. I'm not promising anything. Again, you know, there are.
Very good. You are great.
ऑफलाइन कर लेंगे सर ऑफलाइन ले लेंगे आइडियाज
I want to be neutral, to be very honest. I don't want to, you know, if I become a part of self-see or then, you know, again, there will be a biasness, you know. So, yeah, I'm open. If somebody has a particular specific question, I can answer.
One second, may I? If you are sure, why don't you take a self-teach?
Now, you see, I'm proposing now, today.
Okay, we depend on you.
Yeah. And one minute. And the fourth major issue was liquidation. Trust me, friends, liquidation is going to help, not going to help us. This is such a No, I'm saying, just for the sake of knowledge, we are not going to. No, yes, I have one question. You know what he was mentioning? Okay, yeah, you first listen to me once. Yeah, come on, let me first complete what I want to tell you. Let me clear one thing.
Excuse me, just give him 1 minute. 1 more minute and we'll. Please give him.
Sir, in liquidation, there are two financial creditors.
मीटिंग इज हाईजैक मीटिंग इज हाईजैक
I'll request everybody to please take your seats. Everybody to take the seats, please. Please take the seats. Calm, quiet, please.
Okay, just a minute. He has given certain points. We have all heard it. But then there is a template, as I said earlier. We have to follow a template. There are others also who want to ask questions. So we will restrict to 1 or 2 minutes of questions for each. That will be the right thing to do. And we will take suggestions from everyone. So all those who want to ask questions, please raise your hand. So I will start with you first because you were the first.
And we'll request to ask questions from your seats. Please not to come to the podium.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Please. Acha, 1 second. Can I give you a pause for a minute? I think you want to speak.
No, that's out of turn.
Yeah. So good afternoon, everyone.
I'm happy to see dynamic ladies.
She's an advocate and she's been involved in these cases.
Okay, great.
Advocate Jan.
Right.
बड़ी इंटरेस्टिंग चीज़ है अभी सारी डिस्कशंस हुई लेकिन जो कोर इशू है, जो आप सबको भी समझ ही नहीं आया, असली क्या है? सबसे पहला फॉल्ट सेल्सी क्या बनी, क्या करा, क्या हुआ, क्या नहीं हुआ, कहाँ आप लोग जानते ही हैं। सिंस वेरी बिगनिंग आई स्टार्टेड दिस थिंग। ये केस ही शुरू ना होता, 75 लाख के पीछे जो कंपनी लिक्विडेशन में चली गई, व्हाट वाज द रीजन? somebody had to take responsibility that day and come in the front of the court और ये कहना था कि ये 75 लाख हम देंगे, कंपनी को लिक्विडेशन में ना मिले। उस सिचुएशन में दोनों प्रमोटर्स they were not seated, they were not there, they had resigned already, which is very important for you all to know. Somebody else, A.N.Buildwell and Nagpal, both of them were handling. उसकी इन डेप्थ आपको मैं एक छोटा सा एनालिसिस दे देता हूँ, बिकॉज पहली रिवाइवल स्कीम हमने फाइल करी थी, वेयर देन देयर वाज अ कंसोर्शियम जिसमें आशीष भल्ला भी था, ठीक है। जो उस दिन की जो हियरिंग थी जहां पे कंपनी लिक्विडेशन में गई, इंटर से प्रमोटर्स जिन तीनों की लड़ाई आपस में चल रही है, स्टिल वी हैव टू डिसाइड कि आशीष भल्ला वाज शेयर होल्डर, एडवाइजर, व्हाटएवर, वो जो भी होगा वो दैट इज अ मैटर ऑफ ट्रायल नाउ, because trial has already started. They are going to frame charges. Okay? So अब वहां पर जो भी इनका इंटरस्टेट डिसीजन आपस में हुआ था, according to that, somebody else had to take over the project. It was not because they were not developers. That is very clear since very beginning. Mr. Gandhi is chartered accountant, Major Huda, of course from army and a retired person. So this is just, आप समझ सकते हो, सब नाम की बात है, तीन लोग इकट्ठे हुए काम शुरू हो गया। अब हम उसको कुछ भी कहें, डोंट माइंड इट गांधी साहब, हम अपने तरफ से देखो, आप लोग सब बैठे हैं, सब अच्छे, सब अच्छे उससे हैं, सब मन से आते हैं, आए, लेकिन अंदर से एक फीलिंग होती है कि यार हमारा पैसा, असली दुख तो वो है। अच्छा, अब कोई भी कुछ बात बताता है तो ये लगता है कि यार इसने तो बता तो दिया, अब और दे देंगे तो और क्या होगा। अभी पहले, और से पहले बहुत बड़ी चीज है, सबसे पहले तो आपको ये समझना है कि इनको प्लॉट मिला फ्री होल्ड, आप है लेसी। ट्राई पार्टी बनी क्यों? आपकी रजिस्ट्री में सेल्सी है, A.N.Buildwell और आप कैसे बने? इट इज बेसिकली सॉर्ट ऑफ एन RWA, रहना अपार्टमेंट एक्ट के अकॉर्डिंगली आपको बिल्डर ने जिस दिन बिल्डिंग कंप्लीट कर दी उसको हैंड ओवर करनी है RWA, वो सेल्सी बन गई। अब जब सेल्सी बनी 2011 में, तो सेल्सी प्रमोटर के पास किस लिए थी? क्योंकि तब कोई बायर आया ही नहीं था ना, अभी बिल्डिंग खड़ी नहीं हुई थी, तो सेल्सी तो बन गई। जब बिल्डिंग खड़ी हो गई, तैयार हो गई, ओसी आ गया, तब रजिस्ट्री हुई। तब किसी ने क्वेश्चन नहीं पूछा कि कौन सी सेल्सी कौन क्या। आप उस दिन क्वेश्चन पूछते कि सेल्सी कौन है, ये कहां से आई? अच्छा, उस टाइम तो हम सब कुछ ही मानते कि हमें श्योर रिटर्न दिख रही थी, ठीक है। सर सुनो सर, वो तो सर प्लीज, हमें तो एक बात बड़ी क्लियर है, मैं आपको यहाँ इतना सब कुछ, इतनी सारी डिस्कशन हुई, सब कुछ हुआ, ये तो अभी फिर मेरे को ये लगा कि थोड़े दिन बाद आप लोग आके कहोगे कि जी राम कौन थे। ये दिस इज नॉट द वे फॉर सोल्यूशन। आप कह रहे हो मैं सर्वे कराऊंगा, वो कह रहे हैं ये कराऊंगा, वो कह रहे हैं मैं ये कराऊंगा। यार मैं आपको अभी बता देता हूँ, फ्रॉम हॉर्सेज माउथ। अभी 1 महीना पहले मैं भल्ला साहब को मिला था कोर्ट में, मैंने उनको बोला, मैं कहा यार उन्होंने 12-12 करोड़ डाल दिए हैं, रादर 15-15 डाल दिए हैं, 15 आप भी डालो यार, हम आपको भी सपोर्ट करते हैं, खत्म करो, क्या रखा है इसमें क्या दिक्कत है? इसमें कोई दिक्कत नहीं है। आप, हम कहते ही नहीं यार क्या ले गया, कौन क्या ले गया, क्या नहीं ले गया, हमारा तो सोल्यूशन चाहिए। आप भी करो, कोई कहे यार मैं तो आई एम माइल्स अवे, दैट इज, मेरी उनकी काफी बात हुई है, तो मैं उस पे से आपको बता रहा हूँ। 40 किलोमीटर अवे, दैट मींस ही इज 40 किलोमीटर अवे फ्रॉम मानेसर। तो अब वो इंटरेस्टेड नहीं है, दैट्स वेरी गुड, उन्होंने क्या दिया नहीं है, लॉ विल टेक इट्स ओन कोर्स, उसमें क्या कर सकते हैं, ठीक है। लेकिन हमें तो देखना हमारे हाथ में क्या है, अब क्या हो रहा है, क्या होना। आज हम कहते हैं कि सेल्सी वहां खड़ी है, आप सब लोगों ने इतनी देर भी बैठे हो, आपने किसी ने ये सजेस्ट किया कि यार हमारे को एक काउंसिल करना है, हम पावर ऑफ अटॉर्नी देने को तैयार हैं, हम अपना एक रिटर्न, एक सबमिशन देने को तैयार हैं कि कोर्ट में हम सबमिट करते हैं यूनिवर्सिटी। 30 नवंबर को मैंने एक एप्लीकेशन डाली थी कोर्ट में, आफ्टर मच डेलिब्रेशंस विद देम, बोथ ऑफ देम। आप लोगों को मैं एप्लीकेशन की कॉपी शेयर कर दूंगा, आप पढ़ लीजिएगा। दैट एप्लीकेशन वेरी क्लियरली स्टेट्स, ये 10 करोड़ का फिगर वहीं से शुरू हुआ है। जब इनकी रिवाइवल स्कीम है उसके अंदर तो 15 लाख रुपए महीना मिल रहा था। 15 लाख रुपए महीने में तो आज आप 3 आदमी की नौकरी भी सैलरी नहीं दे पाओगे। जो मेंटेन करने बिल्डिंग में बैठेगा एजेंसी क्या, अब तो मेंटेनेंस हमारे पे आनी है। हम उस टाइम पर तो ये भूल जाते हैं कि हमारी प्रॉपर्टी का रेट क्या हो गया है। आप में से कितने लोग गुड़गांव रहते हैं? प्लीज जस्ट रेज योर हैंड्स। आप मुझे कोई भी 10,000 रुपए फुट के अंदर प्रॉपर्टी ऑफर करा दो कमर्शियल।
Because
We are diverting from the main issue.
No, sir.
Let's go back to the old story.
Sir.
Now we should concentrate on the revival plan.
I think we are taking it too long.
yes,
I mean, see, basically, what I understand is there are two groups, essentially. One is Bhala group and one is this group, okay? We are sitting here because... No, please let me complete. No, I want to complete. I'm not part of this. No, you please let me complete.
That is why आपको मैं कह रहा हूँ आप
I need to put my point.
please.
I need to put my point.
You will definitely you get a chance. आप पहले बात तो सुनो यार।
But just
अरे यार हम रिवाइवल के पर्पस के लिए बैठे हैं तो
please, now see,
That
excuse
is
me.
my point. That is
Because
my point.
Parag, just give me. I'll give you a chance.
I'm just
Because we are again.
I'm just completing in half a minute.
Okay.
I am saying we are all here to find a resolution to the problem.
That's right.
Correct? So let's not go about beating about the bush.
Totally with you.
My simple agenda is that how can we take it forward without any kind of confusion and without any delay.
Correct.
That's my point.
That's-
So let's forget whatever has happened. That's all in the past. Let's try to take it forward. And with a positive mind, with an open mind. That's my point. And I don't think that, let's talk about solutions.
True,
Let's
true.
not talk about what has happened in the past, what is going to
Of
happen
course.
in case if we don't do
Because
it. I think let's just put an end to it. Enough of it. I mean, because we can have number of such meetings without a resolution.
Done, let us
Let's have a resolution.
I think Vikas has a valid point. What is
देखो मैं तो अगर आप नक्शे में मुझे बोलोगे ना, मैं आपको बड़ा क्लियर बता रहा हूँ, 50 करोड़ रुपए चाहिए बिल्डिंग को जिंदा करने के लिए। बिल्कुल क्लियर कट बात है, सब कुछ इधर से घूम लो उधर से घूम लो, वेवर आ गया ये आ गया, वी आर रेडी, सब रेडी है। मुझे तो ये चाहिए, आप बताओ आप में से कितने लोग 500 रुपए स्क्वायर फीट देने को रेडी है? हमें रेडी होना पड़ेगा, मुझे सबके हाथ चाहिए। अब नहीं अगर आप नहीं ऐसे करोगे तो उसका मैं आपको रीजन बता रहा हूँ।
May I request the customers, please do not quote any figure. It is not detrimental to our interests. We will not commit any figure as of now. We will just say X amount. Please do not commit any figure because that will be taken as a benchmark.
No.
I don't want 500 square
Say
feet.
something here. Excuse me.
I
Now,
don't want 500 per square feet.
Your turn is over. Okay, so now Vikas says 50 crores is required. Then why do we need to appoint a surveyor? Why does Sunilji need to pay fees to the surveyor?
Again, all this misguiding.
So, I mean, like, let's not say all this.
Koi farak
Alright,
nahi
Vikas,
padta.
please, now your turn is over. I'm going to take just 5 minutes and just two things I want to say.
Please.
Self-see. What is self-see? It's not, it's not something which is taken birth out of nowhere. It's a very well a part of the builder-buyer's agreement. Then all of us sign the builder-buyer's agreement. There are clauses in that agreement which say that the moment you register your property, you will become a shareholder of a company which is self-see, SELFC. What is the full form? Spire, Edge, Leasing and Maintenance Company, which was formed whichever year it was formed. Who formed that company? That was formed by Sunilji and Hudasa. Why? Because they wanted that to be a part of the builder-buyer's agreement. The relationship between self-see and all the allottees or all the people who invested was that as and when the property gets ready, people will take possession and they will have their properties registered, which means they will have tripartite lease deeds registered between self-see, between A.N.Buildwell and between themselves. Then they will automatically become shareholders of self-see. When you say 732 people, now those 732 people are the actual shareholders of self-see, right?
Correct.
Now, who has the power to appoint the board of directors? those 732 people, not we.
Absolutely.
That's
When
right.
you say that we have the power to appoint, that's wrong according to me, with respect. It
No, no.
is those 732 people.
That's what he means. He
Absolutely,
means
that's
that.
what I meant.
Yeah,
That's
so
what I
when
meant.
you say let and, you know,
Shareholders, I mentioned shareholders.
yeah, those 732 shareholders.
Yeah, that's right.
So whenever there's a meeting of CELFC that is called, there's nobody who comes there. So who is responsible? It is those 732 people.
Correct, correct.
How can you blame CELFC for doing whatever they're doing?
I will tell you. I'll tell you on that.
Please allow me to complete.
Yeah, please.
And so whatever they are doing, they according to themselves are, and all the others who are supporting them, they're doing whatever they feel best in the whole scenario for the benefit of everybody. Right. So I only wanted to give a clarification of what is CELFC. It is not something that somebody has just, got out of somewhere and put on the table and said become members. No. We have ourselves signed to say, now I am not part of CELFC.
Understood, ma'am, you are repeating now. Thank you very much. We got your point.
Just
732.
Just one more thing. No, please don't.
No, let me answer
No, but
this.
you have to keep it short.
Oh, allow me to
Sir,
complete.
sorry.
Then only will you. I also waited for you to complete, right?
Please don't repeat.
Okay. All right.
Don't repeat.
And no, see, I don't mean anything personal against you. Please don't take it
But
personally.
please keep it short. Please keep it short.
All right. So I finished. So far as CELFC is concerned.
Okay.
Now the second thing. Okay, how many associations would all of you want us to become members of? The very first association was Forsica. We paid money. All right. Then there was another association. Other people may have. I did not. Now, whatever may have, I'm not part of CELFC because I'm not registered. Okay. Now this is the next association, and you say, please pay us money to become members of the association. Now
You don't become. See, it is a very free word. You are again going.
Ma'am, thank you very much. First question, first part. Let me clarify once again. When I said those who can change the CELFC board of directors, it is 732 shareholders, not everybody. That is what I meant. I clarify once again. The second part, I made it very clear that we have not been participating in the EGMs. That is why we are in a state where we are. That CELFC is not responding to us. And that is why I requested all the 732 members in the next AGM which is going to be very, very important, to participate either physically or by proxy. Please vote and select your own board of directors and then blame them. If they don't perform, blame them.
जनरल साहब, अभी मेरी बात कंप्लीट नहीं हुई थी। आपने फिगर के लिए बोल दिया कि मैंने फिगर कैसे कोट कर दी 50 करोड़ की है कुछ। अभी नहीं सुन, मैं बताता हूँ। ना अभी अब 8 लाख स्क्वायर फीट एरिया अगर हम 10,000 से गिनते हैं तो 800 करोड़ है। तो मैंने अगर XYZ फिगर आपको दी 50 करोड़ तो आपके हाथ में होंगे। 800 करोड़ का माल बेकार जा रहा है। 800 करोड़ किसके हैं? विकास 800 करोड़ तो हमारे हैं। विकास एक मिनट
Let this thing come out. Whether the unsold property will be sold at the same rate what we had purchased, or it will be different.
Sir, there are liabilities on A.N.Buildwell. Sir, there are liabilities on A.N.Buildwell.
So that will come after the survey.
I think we are all going out of the format. Sorry to interrupt.
We are not concerned with the unsold property.
Yes.
That is the prerogative of the promoters, how they want to sell it off. But whatever rate they sell off, whatever the profit they get, 25% will be given to CELFC.
That is what I am saying. Sir, what percentage of property is unsold? यही तो मैं आपको कहना चाह रहा हूँ. आप बात समझो.
Can we have the promoters? Can we have the promoters also?
Yes, 1 second, Vikas. Just, Please hold on. Everybody to please hold on. I here interfere. Please be quiet. Nobody to interrupt now. We are going out of format. In the beginning itself, I knew. I visualized that we will break the format. So we have talked on a particular format. This is a very big chapter. इसमें कहाँ जाएंगे? रास्ता देखना है as Parag said. We have to move forward. So anybody who has questions here next.
Sir, what percentage of the property is unsold?
What?
I gave out all the details of all the towers. In my initial facts when I cleared, I gave all the towers. Please refer to the video if it is there. I have clarified each tower, how much is the total area, how much has been sold, how many investors are there in each tower, how many has been unsold.
I'll tell you. Roughly there are, am I right, Gane sir? 13 lakh square feet total में से 4 lakh unsold. Am I right on that?
Good afternoon. I think the agenda of the today's meeting is how to move forward, and we are all together. Parag said here that he can see there are two groups. Now we have joined your group, Parag. I have joined your group.
No, I am in your group.
You are in my group and I am in your group. We are together.
Yeah, we are together.
We can do it together. That is where we are. We can all do it together. And whatever other group is there, we are not bothered about them. We need not be bothered about them. Anybody who is creating obstacles, we have to remove those obstacles. That is the whole agenda. And some people can control self-see. I do not want to be seen to be interfering in those affairs. Some people can say they held a meeting in Spire and Manesar where it was sealed. And 645 people came inside in the sealed building in Domino's and held a meeting. They have written in record. They have done all kind of frauds. I will rather not go into details. The question today is how to move forward. I agree with Parag and I am there on that point only. Somebody had asked a question, I have to address that. How much is the unsold inventory? In Tower BCD, there is total of 8,48,000 square feet, which includes 28,000 square feet, which is unsold. And in Tower E, there is some 20,000 square feet, which is unsold, which is available for future. And that 28,000 which is available in Tower BCD will be used for accommodating the allottees of Tower A. That means it is virtually not there. Because 2,000 square feet we are giving to Self-C also as per the new proposal. And Tower A is fully unsold after we accommodate Tower A allottees in Tower BCD, which is something like 3,25,000 square feet for which the structure is complete and other services are yet to be done. And as a part of negotiations and discussions, many people say that how much is the value? It is 10,000 square feet, it is 20,000 square feet. I have heard 200 crore की property है, 400 crore की property है, या 10 crore की property है, कितने की है कोई बात नहीं. We have agreed in writing that whatever will be surpluses in Spire Edge project after meeting all the liabilities of A.N.Buildwell, including Tower A, जो 3,25,000 स्क्वायर फीट जिसके ऊपर कई लोगों की नजर होगी, जो भी उसमें से सरप्लस बचेगा, 25% surpluses will be given to your self-see, your organization, to compensate you for any losses which we think that we can compensate. 25% has been given to you already in writing, and I have given that paper to the court also, that we have agreed on that. Okay, next.
So this was my point. Why I interrupted Vikas was because this was exactly the point that you made. I wanted to say the same thing. That, let's not talk about the past. Let's move forward. Let's find a solution. Let's find a consensus and move forward.
I agree with you, Parag, that we don't need to go into the past, but past somehow keeps on holding us. Somehow the past, my old good friends do not leave the path of the revival, and they keep on creating obstacles by sending all sort of elements, all sort of advocates, fund them.
Our sincere efforts for revival and to just conclude this problem once and for all.
This is
100% payoff. I mean, provided we are going to stick to the plan and we are going to be sincere.
We are together in that. I am with you, you are with us, and
Everything is
that is
good.
the only way.
Can I just ask a question? This is to the promoters. HSITC liability. अगर 738 लोगों ने register कर लिया and they have already paid it to at least A and B, and unsold stock की liability भी A and B पे है, तो bulk of the HSITC liability is on A and B. Are they ready to fund that? That is the key. Whatever be the settlement with HSITC, वो जो भी होता है, बस हमारा 1 लाख स्क्वायर फुट आपका अनसोल्ड था या 28,000 स्क्वायर फुट आउट ऑफ सर 800 whatever number 800,000. So bulk of the HSITC liability is sitting with A and B. Are they ready to pay? Because unless that step happens, I don't think that.
May I answer?
Yes.
I second that.
I have explained these facts. We have explained these facts in writing to your Spire and Revival Group only in September 2023. It is not correct that bulk of the liabilities is to be borne by A.N.Buildwell. It is not true. Because the 732 people who have registered, some of them may have paid the liability, most of them have not paid the liability, because we at our end, the company at our end, did not insist on clear.
I will negate this.
Sir, you can negate it after I speak. After I complete, you can negate this, please. Can you negate later on? Or you want to negate in between? Let him negate.
Let's not break the momentum.
So I will again repeat and reiterate that most of the people have not paid the HSIDC liability because we did not insist the clearance. That does not mean that we did not ask. Some people agreed to pay, they have paid. Many people who were reluctant to pay at that point of time, we said अपनी रजिस्ट्री करा लो. रजिस्ट्री में हमने रोका नहीं, जिसने पे किया है उसके पास रिकॉर्ड में रसीद होगा. नंबर 1. दूसरी बात ये है कि ये HSIDC की डिमांड एक बार में नहीं आई है, 3 बार में आई है. First, one demand came, and the 2 installments of the demand has been raised by HSIDC, I believe, after the company went into liquidation. So how can anybody pay? The two demands have been raised subsequently. How can anybody pay that installment? So anybody who has paid to the extent they have paid, they will not be required to pay that, and they will not be required to pay any interest thereon if HSIDC may subsequently charge. And A.N.Buildwell will be responsible for all the payments which has been made by anybody and it will be on record. Nobody would have paid in cash. Everybody has paid in check. We are responsible, and we at our end, in our revival scheme, we had prayed to the court that interest and penalties be waived. Court said we are not in a position to direct HSIDC or any authority to waive the interest. However, we are directing the authorities to take a lenient view on that. The High Court has already directed HSIDC to take a lenient view on waiver of interest and liability. We have moved an application for waiver of interest and penalty, and we have rather said that since majority of the demand is to be paid by the customers and balance demand is to be paid by the company, and company went into liquidation, we are ready to keep our tower A, which is unsold under lien to HSIDC till the time that demand is paid, because we can see that everybody will not be able to pay in one day. There will be difference of opinion, and the company might also not have money readily available, even though that certain portion of the liability belongs to us. But my first priority will be construction of the tower E, or giving the money to tower BCT, which I am agreeing here. We have 24 crore rupees in the bank. It is not 100 crore rupees. It is 24 crore rupees.
Mr. Gandhi, that act of keeping tower A as lien itself talks a lot, volume about it, because of the genuineness of reviving the project.
Sir, we have given it in writing, and I will share a copy of everything with you.
We'll share that.
Now I will gentlemen to contradict me wherever.
My contradiction was only this, that you said that you ask people whether you want to pay or not. But when you asked for the registry, I was clearly told it can be only registered once you pay the
Sir, this is what we have said, but we have not. If somebody is not, but it is on record, sir. It is on record. It is on record, isn't it? Isn't it? It is on record.
It is on record.
That's all.
Sir, ये demands कब आई थी HSIDC?
I will come to his rescue. Just a moment. The promoters are not. We have discussed this. That is why I am saying so, because I have discussed this during our talks with him. They cannot pay this to HSIDC because as of now, all of us in our minds, the future of this project is not known. Whether it will be revived or it will be liquidated. If it is liquidated, then the dues that they pay to HSITC are going to go waste. Why should they waste that money of theirs by paying to HSITC?
I will put 2 points here. A, whenever we have been talking about clearance of the HSITC dues, I have been saying that I am happy to open an account in the name of A.N.Buildwell to be signed by your association or self-see only, so that whatever dues you deposit can be deposited there and will automatically go to HSITC. So don't even interest that money on me. And General Sahab used the word liquidation, Praveen used the word liquidation, many people use the word liquidation. I am afraid of this word, and some people tell me that Renuka Kulkarni is also my agent because she is driving the liquidation, and if the liquidation happens, my 24 crore rupees will come back to me.
You are her enemy number 1.
Next question.
Somebody said that she is my agent because.
That's what I heard.
So that might be true somewhere, that this is a perception that she is my enemy number 1 or I am her enemy number 2 or 3 or 4, but she is sitting on the path of revival.
Let's talk less on the personal front. Let's talk about the organization and entities. Personal, we should not attack. Somebody is not here. Let's not attack personal anybody. Yes, please.
It was all on the lighter note only.
Please, please.
No, I am responsible definitely.
Let's not go back, please, again.
Yes, I
know your answer.
I am responsible as much as anybody else is. And Renuka Kulkarni is responsible for 10 years. Vashi Balla was responsible for 15 years. And you are responsible for your own fate. I am responsible for the fate of everybody here. That is true.
Please, no accusation, no counter accusation. I said so in the WhatsApp group also. Let's not do that. Let's move forward, please.
Sir, I have a very clear point. What we have heard in the morning and what General Sahib said and what we all understand, that there is a very, very urgent need to change the board of directors of current existing LC. Now, I personally feel our one core agenda, perhaps on top priority, should be how do we do that? Because in the last AGM, somebody played a trick and we lost. Now we are waiting for the next AGM to happen, which may happen after 2 or 3 months. So there should be a concerted effort to, in a way, defeat them. The people who are basically, they have taken our 10 years. Whether they are close to Mr. Gandhi or not, we don't know. But we are against them. And now Mr. Gandhi is with us, we also know that. So, how do we remove them? What I understand, we have got 732 members. How do we take them into our confidence? How will they vote for us and not for, let's say, Ms. Renuka Kulkarni? I am sure this question must be on the top priority of the core committee and all of us.
We have a definite plan to change the board of directors, which will start from today afternoon. As I mentioned, it will kickstart after you approve. And if all the members of the association, out of that 732, are present or vote, SEMC board of directors will be changed. We have counted that.
Sir, we know 732 members, name, address, phone number.
Yes.
Everything.
How do we contact them? I think if there is a challenge, we can sit together. Some people can.
We are already contacting them.
Okay.
We are doing our homework.
Okay.
If I say with confidence it will be changed, I say it with certain facts and figures. We have done our homework.
Okay.
We have the numbers. Provided all of you who are members, shareholders, they vote. It all depends on that, nothing else. Rest numbers are there with us.
That is what is the critical thing, because last time somebody put some proxy votes in the box and we lost. So physically, perhaps people will not be again present. So we need to ensure that
we have the numbers.
Okay.
We have the numbers.
That's great.
I just want to ask one thing. My unit is not registered. So that means I cannot vote. No. Okay.
Only the shareholders.
No, but my tripartite agreement, everything is signed. I have paid 100% dues to A.N.Buildwell.
So I'll tell you, as of now, ultimately what you are saying will happen. Subsequently, when the whole thing changes, but currently Self-C empowers only the registered members to vote. I am also not empowered. So that is how it is. But those who are authorized to vote, they are with us. So we will change the Self-C board and we will also change this law.
There are how many members? Registered members?
732.
Voting right?
732.
7, all have.
Who are registered? Who are the shareholders?
One more small point. I have heard that the lawyer whom we have hired, that gentleman is not persuasive in the court. He doesn't speak out. He just keeps quiet most of the time.
That is true, sir.
Are we doing anything to, hire somebody else, or
Sir, I will answer that. So when we started, we did not have that kind of money. We had to hire whosoever was there in the market, and excuse me, please allow. So that is how it was. So we could not have gone for Prashant Bhushan. Obviously, we didn't have that kind of money. But now we will definitely defend ourselves if that comes to such a stage. But the idea is to come out of court. We don't want to be in court. We want to come out of the court. That is why we are sitting. So that's the endeavor. Anyone else has any question? Because why I will say so is because we have to answer the questions that Self-C has put across tomorrow. They have to be answered because that is our commitment to them. They are also watching. They are watching, and this is on camera. So if anyone has anything which is very specific and different from what has been addressed, then please you can raise your hand. If not, then let me just
Just one point. Since I am a registered holder, I have got my registry done. Some liability falls on me from HSIDC after my registry? Some part.
That record has to be checked.
What is that?
At the time of registry you paid or not. Then when the file is open, we will find out. It will be on facts on the file.
All the dues were paid.
That will be known.
All the demands were paid.
See why we cannot tell about HSIDC right now.
Sir, that's what Mr. Gandhi just said कि एक डिमांड तो 2016 के बाद आई है जब कंपनी लिक्विडेशन में थी तो वो अभी किसी ने पूछी भी नहीं पता भी नहीं.
It is a very vague figure. That's what he said.
We'll take all the details from HSIDC and from the promoters, and whoever has paid will not pay. Who has not paid, it will be all justified.
Sir, I think we are worrying more about peanuts. आप main point अपनी property की चिंता की ज़्यादा करने की बजाय ड्यूज की और ये सारे डिस्कशन हम अलग कर रहे हैं. कोर्ट में जब आर्गुमेंट कर रहे थे तो जज साहब ने इस बार क्या बोला मैं आपको बता रहा हूँ. एक काउंसिल मेरा खड़ा था, एक काउंसिल सेल्सी का खड़ा था, एक काउंसिल प्रवीण के ग्रुप का खड़ा था. जज साहब ने कहा कि आप लोग पहले तीनों डिसाइड कर लो कि आप में से बहस कौन करेगा. अब वहां पर एक एलिगेशन शुरू हो जाता है कि मेरे 750 लोग हैं जी, उसके 100 लोग हैं जी, उसके 150. कोर्ट इज लाइक बुलशिट, गेट आउट.
Okay, so just a quick one.
Thank you.
Assuming these 4 points do get addressed, you're successful in changing the board of directors, joint undertaking in the courts, it goes off court. Assuming the 4 points are successful, what's the guesstimate timeline from the revival plan to execution, to when it's in our hands?
We can tell you a broad
Guesstimate.
Less than 1 year. We hope to do it within.
But otherwise, it will all depend what the survey report says, how much time it will take to repair.
Sure.
HSIDC. But when we give you the draft revival plan, these timelines will be given in that specifically.
Okay. But
You will know exactly what all the timelines for different steps.
But your guesstimate is about a year to 2
Within
years?
this year, yes.
Okay, thank you.
We'll be very, very forward looking.
जितनी ज़्यादा जल्दी इन्वेस्टर्स में यूनिटी होगी उतनी जल्दी डिसीजन होगा. 6 महीने में रोस्टर चेंज हो जाता है. अब नए जज साहब आए, नई बेंच आई है, दिसंबर तक है. आपको 2 डेट मिल रही है.
Okay, now
I believe that it is not dependent upon the judge anymore. The refurbishment of Tower VCD, as long as you people can take the things in your hand, it can be done irrespective of the prudence.
Okay, now.
Okay, next question. Yeah, please.
Yeah. So one small question here. I understand, the Self-C has got the leasing responsibility, and of course, we are on the path to liquidation also. So what is the main hindrance they are posing today in our plan to revive the project?
Okay, I'll tell you. There is a loop. This everybody should know. This loop is very important. Unfortunately, it did not occur to us also. So there is a loop. That loop is that the company A.N.Buildwell has to become active to do the things. They have to appoint the directors. But when they want to become active, then they don't get the necessary clearance from the authorities because a part of the property of A.N.Buildwell, although it is our registered customer's property, that is with the OL. So they are not being revived by the ROC. And since they are not being revived by the ROC, they cannot appoint the directors. That is why reconstitution of cells is required, because that property which has already been handed over to the registered owners, that cannot be taken over by them. Like it is something like your property has been taken by OL and I go and take possession. So that cannot happen, and that loop is what we want to correct. Had this property been taken by CELFC when the revival order by the court was sanctioned and the 24 crores were deposited, we would have been in a very happy situation financially in terms of HSIDC liabilities and renovation liabilities. So that is how this loop is. Any more questions, please? Any more?
Sir, that means now the next meeting it will not be the selfie point which is every time in the limelight. So because that has to be resolved and we are not
Yes,
getting
it will not.
any fruitful
It will not.
thing from there.
I totally agree with you.
Every meeting.
आज ये लाना जरूरी था क्योंकि काफी दिन का दर्द है.
That issue.
अच्छा, now
before you come to the answering the self question, I want to respond to the honorable gentleman who had come here. The first point, because we should not go back with a confused mind on that issue. That needs to be very clear. The first point he had raised was the conflict of interest, the requirement to bring all the parties together. Now, as I look at it, there are three parties. One is Mr. Gandhi and the promoters. The second is the Ashish Balla. And third now, the association itself, which is neutral to both. And in the court, etc., again, there are the parties. One is the SMC, one is Renuka Kulkarni. They may be together or separate, I'm not sure. And third, we and the promoters. We have tried our best to bring those people for talks. We have said, we will come to you, let's have a talk. 9 months has passed, and I don't think that will fructify any further. The only way is to make one party, that is the SELFC board of directors should be changed. That SELFC is your own. So you become one party, SELFC and you are one party. Renuka Kulkarni, as far as I am concerned, is non-entity. Non-entity. She claims to have support of everybody, but if you don't support her, she is non-entity. So there is no other party to the conflict. That is as simple as that.
So with this, you want to ask something? Okay, please.
Renuka Kulkarni is not representing the registered members.
No, she is not.
But she, every time when there is a self-act, she writes according to Nayantara and Renuka, both they write.
Yes, that's true. She is in fact presiding the SELFC board of directors. That was my point.
Because Nayantara gives a right that okay, you represent and you are with this one.
Parekh साहब आप ठीक कह रहे हो, वो भी एक अलग किसी और दिन की बात है कि who's writing and who's sending.
चलिए एक बात है. दूसरा, in this situation, self-act is one. This association is one. Who will be representing us? We are in confusion now.
That's what I clarified, sir. There is no confusion. The association belongs to you. All the people who have become members of the association belongs to you. SELFC board of directors needs to be changed immediately. They will be the appointees of your own. So association is yours, SELFC board of directors is yours. So there is no confusion. It is yours. Renuka Kulkarni is a non-entity. In the last AGM which had happened, if you had seen, what is the AGM? AGM is a dialogue between the directors and the shareholders. The directors give the report of the company, their financing and other things, and the shareholders pass those minutes and ask the questions to directors. Did any of the directors speak anything? They were just statues sitting on the table. It was only Renuka Kulkarni which was talking. She is not even part of the SELFC. Right?
What is she there? She's not.
I don't know.
One of the investors.
She's a non-unregistered member. The present board of directors who are supporting her.
My only one request is.
I will just take
Only one request.
In the long run, I just wanted to clarify the association that is presently being constituted or is already constituted and
in the long run, probably they'll merge. Probably.
Once MC becomes a representative of the customers, the association will not play any role.
That is exactly my point.
It will not play any role after the revival is completed. After the CELFC ensures that the revival is complete, thereafter the association will not play.
We are here as a special purpose vehicle to get the revival moving. Once that happens, then association.
Because maybe a few members of the association could be a part of the CELFC subsequently. So my point is that, you know, I mean, just to clarify and to create less confusion, in the long run, probably the present association that we are talking about and the CELFC might amalgamate into one.
Actually, that's okay. Now
we have made this association primarily to represent.
Only one question, just one minute. Who will call the GBM of the general body meeting for the CELFC?
I will come to that.
He will just say.
I will explain that. I will explain because sir ने अभी जब बोला था, तो he said once you give your approval, we will start from today. We know the mind of people, so we are ready for that. That I will explain. But I want कि पहले हम उनके क्वेश्चन का जवाब दें. ये बनता है कि जवाब दें. ये 10 क्वेश्चन हैं. थोड़ा पेशेंस रखिए.
But why do we need to answer? Why are we responsible to the CELFC people? I'm not able to understand that. Why we are giving them importance?
I will tell you. We are not answering to one. We are answering to all other people who are also seeing their questions. We are not at all now concerned with convincing them because we know they don't want to be convinced. Idea is the people. So now the first question that they posted yesterday. Am I audible, please?
Yeah.
So yesterday, because they have been seeing and they know that there is a meeting, we invited them many times. I sent 4 mails. 4 mails on Google Group. Anybody can see. And they have not come. Somebody said that CELFC को हम मिला सकते हैं. ये देखिए कुर्सियों के लिए रखी हुई है. 2 कुर्सी CELFC के लिए रखी हुई है. तो ये मिलना पॉसिबल नहीं है. In any case, we will answer the question. पहला क्वेश्चन है उनका. They are saying कि promoters and the customers, we are, alliances of some sort. उसका मैं जवाब भी दे देता हूँ कि जैसे सर ने बोला, इस जो पिछली मीटिंग हुई थी यहाँ पे ही, उससे पहले हम गवर्निंग बॉडी में से कोई एक दूसरे को नहीं जानते थे. We are all disconnected people. We have not known anyone. Secondly, अभी भी जो हमारी बात होती है promoters से, वो WhatsApp पे होती है. That is the kind of, security we still feel, insecurity we feel with each other. So ये सब जो बहलाने वाली बात है, बहकाने वाली बात है, आप कुछ भी कर लें, conjecture का कोई end नहीं है. So anyway, so this I wanted to answer. पहला question है, the CELFC roadmap is.
साथ मैं बीच में questions पे जो आप डिस्कस कर रहे हैं, please go carry on doing that. Unfortunately, when we say CELFC हम ऐसे बोल रहे हैं गाली हो गया CELFC.
हाँ बिल्कुल.
गाली नहीं है CELFC. CELFC is RWA. CELFC के कंट्रोल कुछ लोग कर रहे हैं जिन्होंने इसको प्रैक्टिकली गाली बना दिया. CELFC पिछले 8 सालों से फॉल्स और अनट्रूथफुल नैरेटिव्स क्रिएट कर रहा है. इस प्रोजेक्ट के बारे में, इस कंपनी के बारे में, प्रमोटर्स के बारे में, टू सर्व द इंटरेस्ट ऑफ देयर मास्टर्स. एंड whenever we are using the word CELFC, it means, मैडम ने कहा था बड़ा अच्छा, कि CELFC का मतलब CELFC नहीं है. CELFC का मतलब CELFC के कंट्रोलर से है. I am not using even the board. They occupied the seats in CELFC to serve the vested interest of some people. The questions and और उन्होंने पिछले 8 सालों में हमेशा हर कोर्ट हियरिंग का फॉल्स नैरेटिव लोगों को दिया है. जो कोर्ट में नहीं होता वो बोलते हैं, अपने इंटरप्रिटेशन लगाते हैं, हमेशा झूठ बोलते हैं. Whenever I will request one thing, and try it. Whenever CELFC says something, you should assume that 80% of this is bound to be untrue. And they are putting their own interpretation for serving their own vested interest. Vested interest किसका है? मैं उसके डिटेल में जाता नहीं. और अभी हमको and I hope we have sent by email invitations to them, to Renuka Kulkarni also, to CELFC also, to Nayantara also, to come and meet us. They went and met CSE, refused to meet us. How do they want to resolve? How do they want to resolve? Do they want to resolve? Is it their objective to resolve? Or is it their objective to liquidate? If the company gets liquidated, of course we will lose our face, we will lose our money, we will lose our certain other respect. But all of us also gains anything. We will all lose. We will all be losers. Their objective is liquidation, and they have said it in court. They have said it in writing that otherwise liquidate. So please, sorry, I could not help interrupting in between.
So they had certain questions. See, Selfie mein bhi na, there is no unanimity. Sanjay Bhasin is one of the directors. He openly said that there should be talks. He was served a warning, a show cause notice. That is why you see this questionnaire which has come. इसमें Sanjay Bhasin का signature नहीं है. So anybody who decides to talk, come forward. He is, even if he is part of the Selfie, he is again, victimized separately. Vikas was also served notice by Selfie, by the way. Achha, now I have come to the questions. The first question is, the Selfie's roadmap is at zero cost, and at no risk to the end customers. Zero cost and no risk. तो मेरा पहला point है, मैंने already बता दिया है. What do they mean by zero cost? अगर liabilities बढ़ती जा रही हैं, 5 रुपया बचाने के लिए liability बढ़ के 100 रुपया हो गया, तो how is it zero cost? You may win the case 10 years from now, and you may save us those 5 rupees for which you have been fighting since 10 years, but we end up paying 100 rupees, then how is it zero cost? Yes, technically you will say कि देखो पैसा नहीं देना पड़ा, जो 5 रुपए के लिए लड़ रहे थे वो हमने ले लिया, but दूसरी जगह से दे दिया. इनको तो लिक्विडेशन भी करना नहीं आता है, क्योंकि ये जो करना चाह रहे हैं वो करने से मान लीजिए कभी अगर लिक्विडेशन हो जाता है तो पैसा किसको जाएगा? हमको थोड़ी जाएगा, उसके क्रेडिटर्स को जाएगा, वो HSIDC को जाएगा. तो they don't even know this. Second is at no risk. So what is the risk in the other roadmap? What we are trying to bring? There is no risk anywhere. Biggest point is time. Time and money are interlinked. What is the horizon in which they want to give a solution? So that is our answer to them. आपको कुछ बोलना गांधी साहब तो
I thought I would not like to get into the question answer, but having said that, zero risk and zero cost, we are ready to do everything whatever is possible. Zero risk में मैं आपके साथ हूँ कि आपको रिस्क नहीं होना चाहिए. Zero cost. आपका 8 साल का 6 साल का रेंट कहाँ चला गया, 5 साल का कहाँ चला गया, जो कॉस्ट बढ़ रही है, जो बिल्डिंग बनी की फोटो दिखाई दी जाए दोबारा देख ले तो अच्छा है. जो बिल्डिंग कंप्लीट थी, जिसको अवार्ड मिले, टोटली कंप्लीट थी, जहाँ A.N.Buildwell का ऑफिस चलता था, जहाँ डोमिनोज चलता था, जहाँ सेल्फी का अपना ऑफिस चलता था, जहाँ रोलर कोस्टर चलता था, तो बिल्डिंग में आज 10 करोड़ 20 करोड़ 25 करोड़ 15 करोड़ में कुछ भी लगेंगे तो किसका रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी है? बिल्डिंग एक बार बन गई, उनको हैंड ओवर हुई थी. सेल्फी वॉज नॉट इन अंडर लिक्विडेशन, A.N.B was under liquidation. आज A.N.B liquidation से बाहर नहीं आ पा रही because Selfie is not taking position and OL is saying we are not discharged. And ROC कहती है discharge OL नहीं होगा तो आपको हम एक्टिव नहीं कर सकते, हमारा भी लॉस हो रहा है, आपका भी लॉस हो रहा है. तो जीरो रिस्क जीरो लॉस का क्या कॉन्सेप्ट है मुझे समझ में नहीं आया. जिसके इशारे पे ये काम हो रहा है, जिसके इशारे पे ये काम हो रहा है, मैं फिर से बोल रहा हूँ, सॉरी, आई एम नॉट एबल टू स्टॉप माई सेल्फ. उन्होंने अपने प्रोजेक्ट चला रहे हैं, नहीं बन रहे हैं, क्या हो रहा है, एश्योर्ड रिटर्न नहीं दे रहे, किराया भी नहीं दे रहे. जो बिल्डिंग किराए पर चढ़ी हुई हैं उनका किराया भी नहीं दे रहे. और चढ़ी हुई बिल्डिंग के 592 रुपये स्क्वायर फीट पिछले महीने उन लोगों से मांगे हैं जिनकी बिल्डिंग बनी हुई है. मैं ज्यादा डिटेल में नहीं जाना चाहता, उसी की बात कर रहा हूँ सर, उसी की बात कर रहा हूँ सर.
87 crore is the damage which
they are claiming 592 rupees per square feet thing. I understand that you are also investor, one of them. That is why you are saying 592 रुपये फुट मांग रहे हैं. और ये रेणुका कुलकर्णी सेल्फी के प्रमोटर को डायरेक्टर नयनतारा प्रसाद और भावना प्रसाद और मालूम नहीं कौन कौन लोग इसको सपोर्ट करते हैं, ऐसे एक्शंस को, ऐसे लोगों के एक्शंस को.
वो क्यों क्वेश्चन पूछ रही है कि
you also have investment there, so you are also going to pay 592 rupees per square feet as per their demand.
That time will decide whether I.
That is one thing. That time will decide. But you see, किसके हाथ में खेल रहे हैं? किसके हाथ में खेल रहे हैं?
नहीं, वो ये क्वेश्चन क्यों पूछ रही है कि जीरो कॉस्ट और जीरो रिस्क पे क्या सोल्यूशन है इनके पास, क्यों पूछ रही है? वो इसलिए पूछ रही है कि वो जो सोल्यूशन दे रही है वो जीरो कॉस्ट टू द इन्वेस्टर्स वाला सोल्यूशन जो मैंने एक्सप्लेन किया था कि वो इन्वेंट्री अनसोल्ड इन्वेंट्री 8 आवर वगैरह बेच करके जो कि उनके बस में नहीं है, वो सिर्फ आपको वो लॉलीपॉप दिखा रही है कि मैं जीरो कॉस्ट पे आपकी रिवाइवल करूंगी बाय सेलिंग दोज एसेट्स व्हिच आर नॉट अंडर देयर कंट्रोल, एंड शी सेड कि यू कैन नॉट गिव जीरो कॉस्ट. वी आर सेइंग कॉस्ट विद मिनिमल कॉस्ट. Minimum cost.
I am saying whatever cost is there, unfortunately it is there, and we have come forward to pay. Earlier we committed 7.88 crore rupees. Now we have agreed to commit 10 crore rupees as long as it goes forward, and we have also agreed to give 2,000 square feet additional area to Chelsea. Whether you want to use it for selling and put it in the same purpose or not, it is up to you. And we have also said, whatever surpluses are there, 25% will come to you, and I hope that it might make up more than zero. You might be plus one day or the other, if not today.
Right. So next question is, why are promoters themselves not proposing any achievable solution? Instead, once again, I don't know how to pronounce it because there is pell-mell or pall-mall, but whatever it is, shooting off customers' shoulders to create another chaos. So promoters ही तो बैठे हुए यहाँ solution के लिए और हम बैठे हुए. मेरा तो सवाल है, why are they not coming here? And 3 such meetings have happened. Why have they not come here? And why are they shooting this question from the safety of email? They have to face us. They have to face them. They should ask them and they should ask them. But they will not do that because they don't have answers. I have tried it in the AGM. I asked them questions and they did not answer. And after 5 minutes, 3 or 4 people came. Mr. Parmar and one more person was there, and he said, "नहीं साहब आप जाइए, please, हम आपको नहीं allow करेंगे." तो एक इज्जत होती है, फिर मैं वहाँ से हट गया. The third question is, not one, but all 3 courts in their orders, that is the Supreme Court, the Delhi High Court, and Delhi District Court, have upheld that the revival scheme floated by the promoters is a ruse to evade criminal action against them. How many times should one be allowed to get cheated by the fraudsters? तो मैं इसका पहले बोल देता हूँ, उसके बाद आप बोलिए. One should not be allowed even once. This is not a question actually. Nobody should be allowed to be cheated even once. Now I'll just tell the promoters because it is their.
I am at loss of words by reading this. I said it in the beginning that every time you read something, whatever is said by the SLC, you must understand that they are, it is their signature style to create wrong and false narrative. It is not truth, it is their narrative which was created all the time. I mean, we paid 24 crore rupees. By the way, we gave the land to the company. That was our investment, and we have given 24 crore rupees now, and we further paid further monies to I paid to DHFL another 3 crore rupees, so that they don't go to the court and take stay order against the revival and all those things, and they are calling it a ruse, and we are sitting here, they are calling it a ruse, and the people who are putting obstacles in the path of revival, they think that they are doing revival. They are doing revival. We are our revival effort is reviews. I don't need to say much. The actions speak for itself.
I think the statement mentioned by in the question.
And no court has said so. By the way, no court has said.
That's what I was.
That is untrue. Again, no court, highest court said that the revival scheme will not come in the path of criminal cases.
Yes.
And that is truth.
That is the fact. No court has said that revival plan is the ruse. They have said revival plan is approved, but the one clause in the revival plan was that all their cases and all should be over with the revival plan, which the court has said that they will continue. They will not be stopped. That is all the court has said. Court has not said that revival plan is a ruse to.
Okay, next question. I'll just quickly, because lunch ka bhi time ho raha hai. I'll just quickly there are 4 questions. Please have some patience. They must be answered. And in your presence, why are promoters harassing ladies and senior citizens who are fighting for the rights of 1000 plus customers. So this also I think Mr. Gandhi is more equipped to answer.
Can you repeat again?
Yeah, so question I'll repeat. Why are promoters harassing ladies and senior citizens who are fighting for the rights of 1000 plus customers?
I am not...
Can I name them? Can I name them?
Yeah, yeah.
Kulkarni, Bhavna, Nainpara, and there is one more lady. These are 4 ladies he's talking about.
Okay.
And you are harassing them.
First of all, you use the word, why are promoters harassing ladies and senior citizens and filing cases against them? I am speaking for both the promoters. The promoters have not filed even a single case against the ladies, against the respected ladies and the senior citizens as is being alleged wrongly, number one. Number two, on a lighter note, I would say that I am also going to enter the senior citizen club very soon, maybe in a couple of years. And in spite of being a junior citizen, I am being harassed by the ladies and the senior citizens, so-called senior citizens. And the motive of their harassment being caused to us is practically known to us, vested interest.
Okay, now this is a question. Okay, now this question, this is relevant to all of us. There are huge statutory liabilities on A&B. So this is why I say they don't read the...
Sorry, one more thing. The ladies and the senior citizen are harassing a super senior citizen, the other co-propounder, Major S.K. Huda, who is 82 years old and who is going medical issues. I mean, I would use the word shamelessly. If everybody is doing something to protect their investment that is justified, required, you can do anything. But going beyond certain limits is really shameful, which this certain group is doing. I am not talking about anybody else.
If the point is of harassment, they can put a criminal case against the promoters. They should, the point should be, they should put criminal case. So this point should not be discussed here.
True.
And I am not discussing their illegal acts which they have done against us.
Now we'll move forward because people are getting, I think they have to go. So the next question is, there are huge statutory liabilities on A&B. That is why I said there is a questionnaire. Everybody should answer. I should read that. I'll request all of you to read. I'll share it on the group. So this was answered earlier in the questions and put across to the promoters. Now the answer was, which I can read for you. The question was, what are the GST liabilities on the Spire project, that is A, B, C, D and E blocks. They said that there are huge GST liabilities and other statutory liabilities. The answer that was given by them on their mail with a copy to CSE was, there is no GST liability on the Spire project, that is A, B, C, D and E blocks on A&B or A&B. In any case, उसके बाद कुछ चीजें हैं जो relevant नहीं है. In any case, no demand will be payable by the allottee. No demand will be payable by the allottee. This is in the context of GST. In this regard, as demand is in respect of company and not relating to the allottees or their units. Subsequently, please, उसके बाद का है, please note, statutory liabilities of A&B, that is the company, are not to be paid by the customers. You will appreciate that if any statutory liability was there in relation to plot or units of allottees, same would have already come as cases relating to A&B and would have, which are pending before Honorable High Court for last 7 to 8 years. The above is to the best of our knowledge and information. I think there is nothing much to be said on this. Next, there are two questions of similar nature, question 6 and 7. They both have the same content largely. The promoters have collected and siphoned money. First question is collected and second is siphoned. I have merged them. The promoters have collected and siphoned money towards statutory liabilities from customers and have not forwarded these to the statutory authorities. Proofs in courts, the intention of the promoters is in question. So this has already been answered today, but I will read because this has been answered in the questionnaire also. The answer is same question. Question was, some customers paid the HSIDC enhancement charges. How will the promoters address their HSIDC liabilities, including interest and penalties, built up on them? I believe there is a court order to that effect as well. So all these questions were compiled by me and put to them earlier, before we started this revival process. So the answer is, as regards the fact that some customers had paid certain portion of the HSIDC enhancement charges as demanded, till that time, it is clarified that those customers shall not be required to pay HSIDC enhancement charges to the extent payment has been made by them, along with interest and penalties thereon. So it is very clear. They have not read this. They should have read it. They are dealing with our money. Okay, next question is, promoters are pushing these liabilities and huge repair costs onto customers. So now again this has been already discussed to a huge extent. Cost किसको कहेंगे, liability किसको कहेंगे, time 10 साल के चलते जो liabilities आ गई, कौन cost push कर रहा है? मैं तो कहूँगा कि sales ही push कर रही है cost हमारे ऊपर. I already gave you the mathematics, 67 crore हो गया है. In a fight which she says कि 12 crore और चाहिए उसके लिए, for which she has no support. I mean no basis. It's an arbitrary figure. आपको बोलना है कुछ इस पर? Adi sir, you want to say something? Okay, now the ninth question is, in our promoters ये हो गया, sorry, question 9. Promoters want to crush legal momentum gained by Cersei and Renuka Kulkarni to escape completion of A.N.B. project. ये आप बोलेंगे या मैं बोलूँ? So पहली बात तो है कि लीगल मैटर में किसी का इंटरफेरेंस ना तो हम लोग का है ना उनका है. ये तो हम मान चुके हैं कि लीगल बैटल will go on. Legal battle will go on. We only say that dealing the property from the battle. Revival. That is insofar as our stand is concerned and their stand is concerned. जहाँ तक क्रश करने की बात है तो भाई आप केस करेंगे तो वो रेस्पोंडेंट है वो जवाब देंगे. अगर मुझ पे करेंगे तो मैं भी जवाब दूंगा. आप पे करेंगे तो आप भी जवाब देंगे. तो ये क्वेश्चन का जवाब नहीं है, बट आप दे दीजिए.
उनको क्रश करने का तो सवाल, उनके पास इतने बड़े वकील हैं, हम क्रश कर करेंगे. तो वहाँ पर खड़े होकर अपने आप को डिफेंड कर रहे होते हैं और रिवाइवल को डिफेंड कर रहे होते हैं और रिवाइवल को बचा रहे होते हैं. उनको क्रश करने का मतलब क्या है कि लिक्विडेशन अलाउ कर दें, उनकी एप्लीकेशन को अलाउ करवा दें बोल के. 31 अक्टूबर 2019 का ऑर्डर हुआ था. आपने बोला बहुत अच्छा ऑर्डर हुआ था कि भाई अपना पोजीशन वापस ले लो. आप लोग, मुझे नहीं पता कि कितने लोगों को मालूम है वो ऑर्डर क्यों हुआ था. वो ऑर्डर इसलिए हुआ था कि हमने वहां खड़े होकर बोला वी हैव नो ऑब्जेक्शन, प्लीज गिव देम देयर पोजीशन, दे आर एंटाइटल्ड टू इट, they can keep on fighting with us, there is no problem, we agreed to this, we made this submission. अभी क्या हम उनको उनके लीगल मोमेंटम को हम क्रश ना करने के लिए एक रास्ता है, उन्होंने बोला है कि रिवाइवल स्कीम को रिकॉल कर लो, कैंसिल कर दो, तो हम मान जाते हैं. तो फिर इनका लीगल मोमेंटम बिल्डअप हो जाएगा. Yes, we will crush their legal momentum because they want to kill revival. We will not let their ill intentions get achieved.
Yeah. Clear. So now last question. ये भी आप ही का जवाब होगा इसमें गांधी साहब. As per the 6/5/2024 HC order, the promoters have already claimed in the court that they have settled the customers.
Again, such a false narrative. I am shocked at what kind of false narratives they can give. We never said that we have settled with the customers. We did say that we are meeting the customers. We met in September. We met subsequently. We have improved the terms of the settlement, and we have signed an agreement with the core group. Should not we say that? We said this, and if that is that, we have settled. And what did they do after that? They have created this narrative that promoter said that they have settled with the customers, and then they encourage the customers to say that you start writing emails to the promoters, to Mr. Gandhi and Mr. Huda, to say that please refund our money along with interest. Since you are settling, they have instigated the customers. They are in the process of instigating the customers to say that ये तो settle कर रहे हैं सबको. If the company had so much money, or we had so much money to refund the money along with interest, I mean, I'm sure that the company would not have gone into liquidation for 75 lakh rupees as he said. Even though we were not directors at that time, I had resigned in 2014 and this happened in 2016. And the people who were directors at the company, who were those? Rakesh Nagpal, Arun Kotwal, who were they? They were nominees of Ashish Bhalla. They were nominated by Ashish Bhalla, nobody else. He was controlling the company at that point of time. He did not pay 75 lakh rupees and company went into liquidation. But having said that, company did not have money, company does not have money to refund the money along with interest as is being propagated by them, because they want to instigate the people, they want to create cures and they do not want revival to happen, because अगर आपको बोले कि आपके पैसे वापस मिल जाएंगे along with interest, I am sure you will be happy. मुझे भी बोल दो कि मेरे 2006 में हमने जमीन खरीदी थी, उसकी उस समय वैल्यू 76 करोड़ की थी. Forget about interest, forget about today's value. मुझे भी दे दो 76 करोड़ रुपए तो मैं भी ले लूँगा. मुझे मतलब हमारे पूरे ग्रुप से मतलब है. I mean, if you show the moon to somebody, I would not have married my wife if I could marry Aishwarya Rai.
She's not sitting here.
I know that, man. But that is how I can afford to make this kind of statement.
So, with this, we come to a close of this meeting of today. We are very, very satisfied that so many of you have come and listened to us. There has to be a choice for a roadmap and a team, because two teams cannot simultaneously go together. You will have to choose one road. If two routes are there, right or wrong, you have to choose one road, and you will have to trust someone. And we believe, and we are appealing to those who believe in us, that you please come with us, because obviously we have invested so much in this only because we want to look forward to a particular solution. So there is as General Mago said earlier, that we will start right away. We see the overwhelming support. So we have already made an authority letter to requisition for an EGM. We want an EGM, an exceptional general meeting of the board of directors, where you all must be present. Yes. So for that you will have to authorize General Mago to requisition to the ROC for calling the AGM.
Yes. Authorization is only to call the meeting, no decision. Decision is again yours.
Just call
whatever.
You are authorizing me only to call for the meeting.
Meeting so must be with some agenda, na?
Yes, I will say.
Meeting with
so,
some agenda.
Registered member will...
Reconstitution of the board of directors. That is the agenda.
Yes. The agenda will be reconstitution of the board of directors. Only registered, not for the others. Not for the others. So those who are registered customers, there is an authority letter. Please authorize him to call the EGM. You are not bound by the decisions of the EGM. It is only to call for the EGM, because we must meet as the registered customer body to deal with the self-C issue, whatever our decisions. So that's all. Please, lunch is already there. Please go for lunch.
Can I have the last word now? It is the confusion of last 12 to 15 years. There are webs in the webs and the webs all entangled together. We have tried to clarify to some extent in the last 2 hours. I know there will be many more questions in your mind. Me and Kanat Chaudhary are always available to you. Please get in touch with us. If there is any question of any kind, we'll be happy to answer.
The authority letter is outside. I request आप लोग lunch करते रहिए और बीच में जिसको भी time मिले, please अपना time निकाल कर लीजिए. We will not be able to reach out to everyone. Please, it is there at the reception. अच्छा, लंच के बाद भी एक छोटी सी मीटिंग है ओनली फॉर अस, where promoters will not be there, so all are requested to be there, please.
हाँ दिखाना है वो दिखाना अभी नहीं दिखाना अभी तो पॉज कर दो बीच में रुक जाता है चलता रहेगा
उसने सेकंड चैनल बना के दोगे या इसी में जाने
कितनी देर की वीडियो
सेकंड चैनल की
छोटी होगी हम नहीं होंगे इसमें हम नहीं होंगे कस्टमर होंगे
कस्टमर होंगे
मुश्किल से आधा घंटा मैं पूछ लेता हूँ
टाइम शेड्यूल पूछ लो
ये करूँ ये बंद करूँ ये बीच में पॉज नहीं हो सकता
पॉज नहीं होगा ना ये
या तो ये बंद होगा फिर नया लिंक बनेगा नया बंद होगा या तो ये ऐसे चलता
रहेगा ये चलता रहेगा तो एक
नहीं चलता
पिक्चर आपका वो लग जाएगा लेकिन वो
नहीं वो बेकार है ऐसा अच्छा भी नहीं लगेगा ना
हाँ वही तो आने वाले का तो दिखाना वैसे रिकॉर्डिंग दिखा देना
तो रिवाइवल 100% कोई डाउट ही नहीं।